the one.
From now until 6, every man a Wildcat.
Right now, there's the snap. Here's the kick for Chris Tennant. This one has a chance. It is good. He got it. 51 yards from Tennant, and he made it pretty handily.
This is The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app. Now, here's Willie the Wildcat.
Fans are starting to bring up to a new level the noise. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. It is over, and the Wildcats have beaten Kansas for a third straight year in Manhattan.
A.K.A. Carrington Harrison.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You're listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very excited to be here. We are going to celebrate Kansas State athletics today on the show. We're also going to cover the top story. Rashee Rice, at least the criminal part of this, has concluded itself. It sounds like for the most part the civil side of this has also concluded itself, as we are all now waiting to see what is going to happen with the National Football League. We will get to that coming up in just a bit. I do want to tell K-State fans that we had to move some things around because of the Rashee Rice news. So today on the show, we are going to have Chris Kleiman, Gene Taylor, and for the first time, Avery Johnson is on the show. I got a chance to talk to him earlier today for about 15 minutes. Really excited to play that for you. We are going to move Jerome Tang to a podcast exclusive. So if you're a K-State fan and you want to hear from your basketball coach, you can do so. Be sure to check that out on the podcast page and also on 965thefan.com. So we're going to talk to the college football guys today. And if you want to get a little college basketball news, you can do so over on the website and the podcast. We are going to start today's show with Rashee Rice. But before we do that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. I also need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, it would be great if you could tell 2 friends, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. If you guys could tell one person to check out the show, I would greatly appreciate it. I am going to read to you the story from ESPN.com. I'm sure by now you've heard it, but let me tell you again. Chiefs star receiver Rashee Rice was sentenced to 30 days of jail time and 5 years probation Thursday for his role in a multi-car crash. According to a release from the Dallas County DA's office, Rice pleaded guilty in district court to 2 third-degree felony charges, collision involving serious bodily injury, and racing on a highway causing bodily injury. A district court judge ruled that Rashee Rice can serve the jail time at any point during the 5-year probationary period. He also received deferred adjudication, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter, so the case will be dismissed if he completes the probation. Also, I think this is very important to note, before this plea agreement, he has paid over $115,000 in restitution to the victims of the car crash back on March of 2024 for medical expenses. Now, this is on ESPN. The NFL can now expedite its disciplinary process for Rashee Rice, who is likely to receive a multi-game suspension at some point during the upcoming 2025 season. Quote, "We have been closely monitoring all developments in the matter, which remain under review." That is from Brian McCarthy, who is the NFL Vice President of Communications. Now we wait. We have done a lot of speculation over the last year and a half about what is going to happen with Rashee Rice. The NFL, they have been very, very consistent on this. Once the criminal portion is over, then we will sentence, then we will suspend, then we will give you our ruling. But until then, there's nothing for us to do. They have let this play itself out fully in court. We now know that Rashee Rice, I would say, given the seriousness of the matter, I think you got to be kind of happy with this if you're Rashee Rice. You have certainly paid a financial penalty, as you should, for what happened. You have probation for a 5-year period. That's certainly not a short period of time. I mean, that's 5 NFL off seasons. A lot can happen during that time. You make one wrong move, who knows? We all know they're not playing games down there in Texas. You had one very serious incident that I would say you kind of escaped. At least you're in perfectly fine health. You have had another incident where the details are a little bit foggy, but since then you have appeared to keep your nose clean and stay out of trouble. I would say if you are Rashee Rice, if you are his lawyer, if you are the Chiefs, you got to feel good about the news that you got today. You got basically a $100,000 fine, 30 days in jail, and probation. And you have over the next 5 years to serve those 30 days. Do it how you want to do it. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs, and we're going to have a lawyer join us coming up in about 10 minutes so we can better understand the jail time portion of this. You got to go to jail. You got to go to jail for 10 weekends for 3 days. 10 3-day weekends over the next 5 years, you got to go to jail. Now, I'm not saying it sounds fun, but it shouldn't be fun. You're in jail. That's a lot better than the alternative. You could just say, you know what, let me just go ahead and eat this entire month. I'm going to be in jail all of next April. And you just go ahead and knock it out and just be done with it. It's the NFL offseason. There's no workouts. There's no nothing going on. You still got your entire summer ahead of you. Just say that I'm going to sit down all of next April. However you want to do it. I don't care how you do it. Just go get it done. You got to feel good about this if you are Rashee Rice. You got to feel good about this if you are his attorney. You got to feel good about this if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, to the part that I think you guys care about the most, how many games is he going to miss? Nobody knows. I think Matt Derrick is very, very good at this. Matt Derrick put out this information. I've been told by sources within the organization that the Chiefs believe Rashee Rice may get a suspension of 2 to 4 games. Whether that's optimistic, I can't tell you for sure. Everybody thinks their player is getting 2 to 4 games. You then look at Jonathan Jones, who is as plugged in as anybody in the National Football League. He then tweets out, based off the personal conduct policy, precedent, and potential factors, I would set the range for suspension for Rashee Rice at 5 to 7 games. It's a big difference in getting 2 games and getting 7 games. Now, I don't know. You choose who you want to believe in this. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. I think at this point, we are all guesstimating. You guys know the respect that I got for Pete Sweeney. I consider Pete Sweeney to be a close personal friend. He said that this is worthless, but it's sports talk radio. That's what we do is speculate. None of us know. This is the best thing for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know what happened is very unfortunate, and I'm not here to make light of it. But now that it is over, now that it is behind us, and now that you have the suspension, and this suspension can happen at the very beginning of the season, this is the best possible thing for the Chiefs. However long this can be, if it's 2 games or if it's a maximum of 7 games, you get Rashee Rice back healthy for the second half of the season. You ramp him up as they get ready for the postseason, and you have your most dynamic playmaker for the most important games of the season. This is the best possible outcome for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the best possible outcome for Rashee Rice. So I don't know how long the suspension is going to be. I can come on here and guess and give you a range of number of games too. Everybody's guess is right. He gets less than 8 games. He gets 2 or more games. It's a big window of what we're talking about. Nobody knows with the National Football League. Their rulings don't make a lot of sense in this regard. And I'm also guessing that he will probably then appeal it and probably get it knocked down from what the original suspension is going to be. So it might be a 4-game suspension that he ends up serving 3-game suspension because they knock it down. We don't know at this point. But what I do know is I'm happy that this conversation is over with Rashee Rice. We now know. We now know. We now have the injury potentially behind us. We'll see how he looks at training camp. The suspension is not that far from being behind us. And at worst, once we get to November and the games start getting more important, November, December, January, February, you expect your number one playmaker to be out there. I don't know if you can ask for anything else. Rob, before we're joined by the lawyer, I want to give you an opportunity to chime in on this. Now that we have all the information with Rashee Rice, I think you got to be happy if you're a Chiefs fan about the way that this has played itself out. This is not bad. This is manageable if your goal is to get him back on the field as quickly as possible.
It's a bad situation. The fact that a Chiefs player is dealing with off-the-field issues that we are waiting for a court case to be resolved is inherently bad. I do not want to say this is a best-case scenario because the whole situation is inherently bad. But this is the best of a bad situation. Jonathan Jones over at CBS put on Twitter earlier today that it is likely beginning at the start of the season, whatever the suspension may be. So if that suspension takes place at the beginning of the season, Rashee Rice can go through camp, he can go through preseason, he can practice, he can do all the things a part of the offseason program, and then his suspension, whatever that may be, and we can speculate throughout the show, on week 1. I'm sure if you ask Brett Veach, Clark Hunt, Andy Reid, and co., hey, what's the best time for you to have Rashee Rice have to deal with the suspension because we know a suspension is coming? I'm betting all 3 of those guys would say early in the season because you can get all the work, you can stop, you're out your, let's say, 2 to 6 games, then you're back to work, and you're not missing games in November, December, and January. And in Kansas City, they are always playing meaningful games in November, December, January. This is not going to be a situation like Frank Clark, where he got 6 games right in the middle of the season. This isn't going to be a situation like Willie Gay, where he got 4 games right in the middle of the season. This is likely at the start of the league year. I'm betting in the next 48 hours to a week or so, the NFL makes their decision because Adam Schefter's verbiage makes it seem like the NFL is ready to expedite the suspension. And then it's just, let's knock this out ahead of time, be done, and then get to work. This is the best of a bad situation for the Chiefs as far as on the football field goes.
Coming up on the other side, one of my high school friends is actually a criminal defense lawyer. I got a chance to talk to him and see what this means for Rashee Rice from a legal perspective. We'll play that for you on the other side. Someone on the text line asked a good question. Carrington, do you think that Roger will make an example out of Rashee Rice because of what happened to Henry Ruggs? Let's talk about that coming up on the other side. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent fountain and frozen drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, or dig between your couch cushions, or ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. We take those too. 89-cent frozen and fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified pre-owned vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months, plus a $200 gas card with purchase. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderston Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those three listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, I want to read this text to you guys because I think these two texts are pretty important texts. The first text is, Carrington, do you think that Roger will try to make an example out of Rashee Rice because of the Henry Ruggs situation? I think that is a very interesting question. I understand the question. I also think in this, we have to talk about what happened and not what could have happened. We all know what happened in the Henry Ruggs situation and extremely unfortunate events. But what actually happened is people died. In the Rashee Rice incident, people could have died, but no one did. So I don't think the NFL can rule based on what could have happened and hypothetical situations. I don't think that's their role in all of this. I think their role is to hear Rashee Rice's side of the story, take the evidence that we now have through the judicial system and through the courts, and then make a ruling according to their own codes and conducts. I don't think that they can say, well, we have this Rashee Rice situation, we have this Henry Ruggs situation, it could have been a lot worse, so now we need to suspend him accordingly. I don't think that's a very fair thing to do, and if I'm Rashee Rice, if I'm the Chiefs, I'd be really upset about that. The next text. C-Dot, when is the last time that a current NFL player served 30 days in jail? They will look to make an example out of him. It will be at least 8 games. This might sound incredibly callous. I don't really care about how many games it is. And this isn't me taking a moral high stand or trying to side with the NFL. I mean, we know what number it's not going to be. We know he's going to play this season. And we also know that it's going to be somewhere between 2 to 8. I don't know the exact number, but I do know it will be somewhere in between then. I don't see it being more. They gave Deshaun Watson 10 games, and he's a serial predator. So I don't think we're talking about a 10, 12, 13 game suspension. We're talking about somewhere between 2 to 8. The Chiefs play Buffalo in week 9 on the road. Their biggest contender. Let me remove my moral feelings from this and talk about this from a football perspective. You guys tell me this every September and October. These games don't matter that much. It matters about the postseason. So if we're taking that philosophy now, your number one receiver being out for the Week 3 game against the New York Giants, I don't care that much. Your number one receiver being out for the game on the road against Jacksonville is not that big of a deal to me. Can you get Rashee Rice back for the Buffalo game? That's Week 9. You get him back for Week 9. There's a bye week in Week 10. And then you start the blitz to the playoffs. Week 11 through 18, and you're hoping that you don't have a lot of time off in between them because you're playing in really important football games. That's your Thanksgiving game against Dallas. That's your Christmas game against Denver. That's when you play all your teams in the division. Can you get Rashee Rice back by Week 11? So if the answer is 2, great. If the answer is 4, okay. Maybe it's 6. Ooh, a little tough. All right, you're going to miss that game against Detroit. It's a big game. It's Sunday Night Football. You're playing the best team in the NFC. All right. Maybe it's 8. Maybe he can't play that Monday Night Football game at Arrowhead against Washington. Maybe. Is he back by Week 9 against the Buffalo Bills? Again, I'm not trying to make light of what happened. It's a very, very serious thing. I went back during the break and I reread the Rashee Rice story from a couple of, I guess, last year now. This is something pretty serious that he did. We're talking about driving 115 miles an hour, swerving in and out of traffic on a Dallas highway. One of the people who were injured in the car accident was a single mother taking her kids home from the zoo. So I'm not here to make light of the situation. We're past the criminal part of it. The judge got a chance to rule on that. Hey, you got 5 years probation, 30 days in jail. You've already paid your restitution. That's out of my control now. I'm talking about the football side of it, the football suspension part of it. It's going to be somewhere in the range between 2 to 8. And that's not that big of a deal for a team that you expect to be playing deep into January and possibly February, and who's also recovering from an ACL injury. It's not like they're going to be like, oh, well, you recover, then we'll suspend you for weeks 12 through 17. We don't think that's how this is going to play itself out. He's going to be suspended for the very beginning of the season. Him being out for weeks 1 through 6 is not the worst thing in the world. I would say that's best case scenario for the Chiefs. So I'm just not necessarily as caught up in the number of games. Maybe you are. 2, 4, 6. Okay, fine. Those are fantasy football numbers to me in this context. Are you ready for the postseason? Are you healthy for the postseason? Can you help in the postseason? That's all that really matters to the Chiefs at this point.
I understand a little bit why fans have a slight fear of the, and I'm quoting here, made an example out of. I think that fear stems from the fact that historically in the NFL, usually when something bad off the field happens, we have some sort of precedent. When Willie Gay had his situation, we had precedent. When Frank Clark had his situation, we had precedent. When we have some sort of precedent, we can point to it. That's what they give people who commit these type of, crimes or do these type of things off the field. We really don't have that with Rashee Rice. So I understand why fans are worried about being made an example out of. But I feel like if the league was going to make an example out of Rashee Rice, he would have been suspended by now. They would have, levied a heavy punishment before the court ruled. Because we've seen that in the NFL before. If Roger Goodell and the powers that be feel like, oh, this is a black eye for the league, even before the court case, they don't have any problem levying a punishment before the courts levy theirs. So I think the fact that the Chiefs, the NFL, Rashee Rice, everyone let this play out, and he had his day in court, makes me think you're right. I think 2 to 6 is the number. Maybe it's 6 and he appeals and ends up being 3. I don't know. But if you're asking me, it's 2 to 6. That's kind of what I expect. 8 or 10 or whatever was in the text line feels like based out of a fear of no precedent. I feel like 2 to 6 is a safe window to guess.
So earlier today, I got a chance to catch up with one of my close high school friends. His name is Chase Higgins. He is a criminal defense attorney. And I'm thinking, well, we're talking about legal matters. We're talking about the courts. No better person to talk to than an actual lawyer. And I actually know this guy, so he was available. I asked him to explain to us in layman's terms the sentence that Rashee Rice has.
My understanding of the plea deal is he pled guilty on a couple of felony charges and received some deferred adjudications for it. So Missouri kind of has some similar stuff, but in Texas, as I understand it, it's basically the equivalent of kind of like a Missouri, what they call it, SIS, suspended imposition of sentence. So he's pleading guilty to these felony charges, and he's going to get his 5 years of probation. But so long as he successfully completes the probation term and all the conditions of the probation during that time, the case will be dismissed, and he won't actually be a felon or anything like that.
So that was the layman's term of explaining the sentence that Rashee Rice has. I then have more questions about the 30 days in jail. I don't know how this works. Can you kind of break it off, and can you do 10 3-day weekends when it comes to jail? Can you just go ahead and do so? At least according to the story, and maybe you guys have more information. I'm willing to admit that I don't know everything there is to know about this. I ain't never been in jail. Ain't trying to go. But he has 5 years to complete 30 days. I think I could figure out a way to fit this into my schedule. If you're telling me I got 5 years to figure out how to do 30 days in jail, I asked, how do you serve the 30 days in jail? Does it have to be concurrent? Can you break it up a little bit? Here was the answer we got from a criminal defense lawyer.
Ultimately, be up to the judge there at the Dallas County court in Texas, but typically judges will allow that to be broken up. They are usually pretty sympathetic to people who hold jobs and whatnot, and so they a lot of times allow that to be served by weekends or a week or so at a time. For somebody with a job like Rashee Rice, he may just go and serve the whole thing in the off season when things are kind of down low. But it's ultimately to the judge to decide.
All right, Rob. For the sake of discussion, let's throw this out there. You got to do 30 days in jail. You got to do this over a 5-year stretch. How you breaking it up? You got to think, you're busy during the time. Like, you got blackout dates if you're Rashee Rice. I'm not doing this during the summer either. No chance. You're telling me I can choose when the 30 days are? You want to know when I don't want to be on jail? 4th of July weekend. I don't think I want to be in jail over that time. June seems like a lot of fun in Dallas with a little bit of money in my pocket. That's kind of what got you in trouble in the beginning, but I'm not going to jail during that time. Rob, how are you breaking up the 30 days? You got 5 years to do them. The judge lets you pick. Hey, you can check in, check out. You just got to do your 30 days. Tell me how you're doing it.
So I think it's two different answers. How Rob Brinton would do it and how Rashee Rice will do it are not going to be the same. If I'm me, have this job and I have a 9-to-5 or whatever, we don't need to get in the nitty-gritty of our hours, I would sign up for a weekend every 6 months. So by the end of the first year, you got 4 days done. You got 4 days done. Maybe you do a 3-day weekend. You set it up where you're basically taking 1 day off work and you're building out a long weekend. That's how I would do it. I think Rashee Rice has to do it in one big dollop. If I'm Rashee Rice, I'm doing March 1st to March 30th. Boom. Ain't nothing happening. It's free agency, so my job isn't affected. It's not the best month of the year. It's the season's over. I got to do some R&R anyway. There is nothing with my job that's in the way. If I'm Rashee Rice, I'm March 1st to March 30th. If I'm Rob Brinton, I'm taking a little 3-day weekend here, 3-day weekend there, and kind of spacing it out. But I don't have the flexibility of off days Rashee Rice has.
Rob, I think you're telling a lie here. This is what you want me to believe. You want me to believe that as a person that works a regular 9-to-5, you're going to work Monday through Friday. And when you leave here on Friday, when you hit the Daniel Craig, you're going to check in jail? No chance. That's not how I'm doing it. This is how I would do it.
You have to check into jail regardless.
I agree. No, this
you
is
can't
how
avoid that.
This is how I would do it if I'm him. I'm just saying, if this is me, if I get to handle it the way that if I'm Rashee Rice, I just try to do 1 week a year. That's what I just try to do. I just try to do 1 week a year. That's it. That's all I got to do. 1 week a year. You're telling me I got 5 years to do 30 days. All right, I'm going to just do, 4 7-day periods, and then I just got to find 2 random days. That's all I got to do. I'm just doing 1 week at a time. You're telling me I got to miss all March? I got to watch March Madness from jail? I'm not doing that. I'm looking at some months where ain't really a whole lot going on. You know what? There's some free time right after the Super Bowl. I kind of want to get away from everybody. Now seems like a really good time to go to jail. Let me do February 19th to the 26th. Hey, I'll see you guys next year. I can come in here. I can rest. I've had a tough season. I'm just winding down that way. That's how I'm doing it. I'm doing 1 week a year for the next 4, and then I find 2 days. I'm not doing a 30-day straight period. I can't do that. No, I don't want to do this.
I think if you're Rashee Rice, you have to, though, because I don't know his contract. But I'm guessing there's some OTAs, mini camp, workout bonuses cooked in there. Can you imagine missing out on, let's just say, $25,000 because you're in jail? You're not going to miss out on a workout bonus on March 11th. Yeah, you don't get to see Notre Dame.
I'm going to be there. No, for sure.
You don't get to see Notre Dame Syracuse this year, Rashee. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have gone 175 miles an hour or whatever it was. But do not miss a workout bonus. Can you imagine that, hey, all you got to do is come to mini camp. We don't even put pads on. It's mostly indoors and mostly film study. You get $10,000 to show up. Nah, I signed up for jail that weekend. He has to do it in March.
Someone on the text line says, CDOT, MLB All-Star break week sounds like a good week to go in. Being in jail in the middle of June does not sound fun, especially when you got money. We're not talking about regular you, hey, I'm not doing nothing anyway. I'm just watching it No, I got bread. I got money. I don't want to be in jail. This is right before I got to go back to work. I got to turn around and I got to go to work in 2 days, and I'm sitting here in jail watching the home run derby. No, I can't do it. This is a February, early March, 1 week a year. That's how I'm doing it. Somebody said 1 week every year during training camp. Hell no. You already on thin ice. You know what I wouldn't want if I'm Rashee Rice? Why I'm not at practice, and then Andy's looking around like, hey, where's Rice at? Oh, yeah, he's in jail this week. I don't want that, especially when my contract's about to be up soon. At some point, Rashee Rice wants to get off that rookie deal. That man just had to spend $100,000 for a car accident for paying for other people. I mean, you've made good money yet. You ain't made that second contract big-time payday money yet. So what I'm not trying to do is, yeah, it sounds good in August. I missed practice. I'm not really trying to remind them of why I'm not here. Hey, why isn't Rice running this drill? Oh, yeah, he's out this week. He's in Leavenworth. No, I'm not trying to remind them. You don't need to be in you need to be in St. Joe right now, not in Chillicothe. That's where you need to have your priorities straight. That's how I'm breaking it up. I'm doing 1 week a year. That's how I'm doing it.
By the way, the All-Star break week is a really bad idea because you know what that usually is? The week before work. Hey,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I got 1 week. Remember the best example for the NFL schedule is school. Imagine right before school started, you decided, you know what? I want to hang out in detention for a week. What kind of idiot are you?
Yeah,
Enjoy the
last
week of your summer.
No, I'm not doing that.
I do not want to watch Aaron Judge from Cell Block C. No thanks. I'd rather do it. Okay, I missed my March Madness, and that's going to stink. But I ain't missing summer. No.
Yeah.
April's also a good month to miss, but those are the two.
Yeah, you're right. April's not that bad if you got to go to jail for just 1 month. If you just got to go ahead and knock this out, yeah, sure. I'm just going to jail during this period. So last cut I want to play for you guys from my dear friend Chase Higgins. We went to high school together. He's a criminal defense lawyer. I wanted to actually talk to an attorney about this and get his answer. So Rashee Rice has paid over $115,000 in restitution to the victims. I asked him if he thought this played a factor in the sentence that he got.
Yeah, so the restitution amount, to be clear, probably isn't a reflection of the amount that the victims in that case will receive. The restitution is probably directly attributed to, medical expenses, things of that nature. There's no doubt there's some civil personal injury cases, I'm sure, and it's my understanding that one of the victims in the case actually settled their case yesterday. So probably has something to do with the timing of this plea deal. That might have been the last of the civil cases pending or something, and so that's probably why they needed the last pin to drop before they could do this plea deal and get it done.
So that was my friend Chase joining us on the show to give us some information about the Rashee Rice case. We'll see what happens. I told you guys, and I'm not here to sound callous about this. I understand the seriousness of this. I 100% get it. This is not that bad for the Chiefs. This is a good thing for the Chiefs. I would say this is a good thing for Rashee Rice. Like, we can laugh and joke about this. Like, I don't know if this is Rob Brinton and not Rashee Rice. I don't know if Rob is only getting 30 days in jail and 5 years probation. Like, Rob doesn't live a life where the 5 years probation is that big of a deal. The 30 days seems like the big deal to me. Like, he didn't get a fine, none of that. Just, hey, you on probation for 5 years, stay out of trouble, and you got to do these 30 days. I don't know if that's the case if you and I get caught in this situation. I don't know. So I think you should be counting your blessings. You potentially caught yourself in quite the pickle and have gotten yourself out of this situation. I would count yourself blessed. This could have gone completely different. Someone could have died. And we say that sometimes. This is not a scared straight tactic. If you were driving 115 miles an hour in traffic, weaving in and out of it, and cause a automobile accident, someone could have died as a result of your actions. You could have got way more than 30 days. You could have got 30 years in prison. Like, you could have got something very, very serious. So I hope that this is an eye-opening experience. I hope that you keep your head down, do what you're supposed to do. Like, you're in line to make a lot of money in your lifetime. Look at what they're paying wide receivers. Look at what Calvin Ridley just got. Look at what Christian Kirk got. Like, you are one of those kind of players. Ball out for this season. I don't know if you get a contract at the end of this season, but ball out these next couple of years. Prove yourself to be a legitimate number one, and you sign yourself up for a tremendous contract. Get back healthy, get back to playing at a high level, and you can put all of this behind you. You can get this off your record. Just go play ball. Stay out of trouble. Go play ball. Do what you need to do and move on with your life. We're going to celebrate Kansas State athletics today. We'll do that starting coming up at the top of the hour, where Chris Kleinman is going to join us on the show. We'll be joined by the Kansas State football coach. I do want to give K-State a whole lot of credit. This is why I want to give K-State a lot of credit for. Now, I think that most programs that aren't one of those elite programs, and I don't say that in any way to disrespect K-State, but follow me here. I think most people that cheer for one of those kind of programs, I think their goal has been to be a program like Wisconsin. Rob, you remember how good and consistent Wisconsin was for like a 20-year stretch when they had Barry Alvarez? They always had great home environments. They always would pull off an upset or two throughout the year. They were always in the mix for the Rose Bowl or potentially win the Big Ten. And the rest of us all kind of sat here and scratched our head like, how are you doing that? Like, you're not getting great recruits. You're not getting the five-star guys. Like, you have just built a very strong, consistent program that every year people know what to expect. That is exactly what K-State is. And they've been like this basically, Rob, for our entire life. Aside from those Ron Prince years, which I understand that you guys were not big fans of it, for most of our life, that's what K-State has been. A team that doesn't have a geographic advantage, a team that doesn't have an historical advantage, like they don't have years and years of that kind of tradition, for a team that's in a state that doesn't have the kind of high school football talent that you would need to maintain that high level of play like an Auburn or an LSU or a USC. The fact that for the last 4 years, 9 wins, 10 wins, 8 wins. You've been to the Sugar Bowl. You've been to, like, Kansas State. I don't know if you realize how good you've been and how rare of a situation you are in comparison to a lot of other comparable programs in college football. You saw the last time. Hey, you get rid of Bill Snyder, you make the wrong hire, and this thing can go off the rails really, really quickly. They hired the perfect coach. Chris Kleinman ain't going nowhere. No time soon. Maybe Iowa is the job that he would eventually take. He's from Iowa, but if you're telling me that there's realistically only one job that's out there that you are worried about, I think you got to feel really good about where you are. I think K-State can make the college football playoff this year. And I don't say that just because we're here locally. They can win the Big 12, and if you win the Big 12, lo and behold, you find yourself in the college football playoff. Arizona State was in it last year. At some point, Chris Kleinman will get K-State to the college football playoff. You can say that if they continue to do what they have been doing, they will eventually be in the college football playoff at Kansas State. And you also have a head coach that you like, that fits your culture, that fits your program, isn't every year flirting with the idea of leaving so he can hit you up for more money. You've won. Kansas State is as solid of a tier 2/tier 3, whatever group you want to put them in, program in college football. This is really, really impressive. They had the one down year in COVID. That's a very, very weird year. Every other season with Chris Kleinman, they have won 8, 9, or 10 games. One of those years, they made a BCS bowl game. They made the Sugar Bowl. So I just want to tell you, K-State fan, be proud of your college football program. Trust me, it could be worse. It could be worse than where you are at K-State. I'm sure you want to be better and you want to win the Big 12 every year and compete for national championships. I'm with you. Everybody wants that for their program. There are a lot worse situations you can be in Manhattan, Kansas than the one that they find themselves in. And they're a very solid, consistent team that always has a chance to do something later in the season. Coming up in about an hour, we're going to be joined by Chris Kleiman. I'm really excited to catch up with him. We're celebrating K-State today. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Baseball fans, BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during the baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. All you need to do is pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. Just log into your BetMGM sports account to get started. Then, visit your promotions section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. You'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. There's nothing more exciting than going yard, so swing for the fences with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
This afternoon, expect stormy conditions with showers, with temperatures reaching 79.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive. 913-586-7965. Coming up in just a little bit, we are going to be joined by Chris Kleiman. I want to read this. This is a person who feels like Rashee Rice should get a lot of time. The text reads, Michael Vick received an indefinite suspension for his involvement with dogfighting. Ray Rice, indefinite suspension for assault. Adrian Peterson, he got 6 games. None of these even come close to the horrible deed that Rashee Rice did. He fled the scene and injured multiple people with lifelong injuries. His suspension better be extremely heavy. I think there has to be some context here. Michael Vick went to federal prison. Federal prison. The Ray Rice situation. We can talk about what happened once we saw the video. Ray Rice originally got, if I remember correctly, Rob, he got 2 games. It became a big deal because TMZ eventually leaked the video, but I believe the NFL saw the video, had the video, and suspended him, and that kind of changed the process. The Adrian Peterson, the 6 games, I think that's a much more likely one. The Adrian Peterson one is really the model for what is a violation of the personal conduct policy. One thing that I don't think we can do, and I'm not here to stand up for guys who break the law or do things that we find immoral. That's not my point here is. I don't think we can put our moral feelings onto the NFL when the NFL has told us at almost every single turn, we don't care about that. We only care if you can play. We have so many examples of this when it comes to players. Alvin Kamara and Chris Lamons savagely beat up a man in a Las Vegas hotel for seemingly no reason. You guys remember that story? They were leaving the club. Everybody's drinking. Everybody's having a good time. If you've been to Vegas, you know what I'm talking about. They were arguing over who was going to get in the elevator first. And they just started, multiple NFL players just started beating this man up. Like, they beat him up pretty bad. They got a 3-game suspension for it. I mean, horrible. No reason for them to attack that man. They got a 3-game suspension for it. The NFL is not in the business of morality. They're in the business of putting on an entertaining product. I don't think that the NFL, at least when it comes to this stuff. Now, if it comes to violence against women and kids, I do think they have a different moral standard. But in this incident, everybody lived, everybody walked away. The courts only gave them 30 days. They gave him 30 days. So you're telling me that the courts gave him 30 days, but we think the NFL is supposed to give him 8 weeks, 9 weeks? I find that hard to believe that they're going to do. I actually think the maximum is 6. I look at Ezekiel Elliott. Remember, Ezekiel Elliott got that 6-game suspension. I think that's probably the line for this. Now, again, all of us are guessing. All of us are speculating. This person thinks it's 2 to 4. This person thinks it's that. I don't know if you can really justify giving him more than 6 games just based on how you've handled other incidents like this. That's what Ben Roethlisberger got. That's what Ezekiel Elliott got. Once you start getting past that, I'm starting to argue, hey, come on, man. The stuff that we are now in the numbers of, we're getting to 10, 11 games. That's what Deshaun Watson got. This isn't that case, at least not in terms of public perception, not in terms of any of that. We all knew the league had to come down hard on Deshaun Watson, and they did. I don't think that's what this is. If he gets 6 games, nobody bats an eyelash outside of Kansas City. No one is talking about this story outside of Kansas City. It doesn't have that kind of national appeal. Maybe it did last year. It doesn't this year. It was a year ago. Time moves on. If you're thinking the NFL is going to take some moral stance and set some precedent and, hey, we hate the way this is going, the NFL has told you all the time, bro, we don't care about that. If you aren't driving drunk, if it's not violence against women or children, for the most part, you ain't getting a heavy-handed suspension. That's just not how they operate as a league.
I don't want to get too in the weeds here because I really hate when we as the show, societally, text line, Twitter, whatever the entity, we get into these arguments about, what crime was worse. When we start this, weird ranking of crimes and how I don't want to get into all that. I do think the texter's point kind of falls apart when obviously what he did could have been horrific. And that is not hyperbolic. It could have been horrific. But you got to judge based on what actually happened. He had a very bad car accident, which left some people hurt, and he fled the scene. The courts in Dallas and in Texas determined that is worth probation and a slap on the wrist level of jail time. I think the NFL is going to follow what the court said. Now, like I said, I don't want to get into ranking how bad crimes are or anything of that nature. If Rashee Rice, veers a little left, veers a little right, and the story is different, I'll be on the texter's side. They might really come down strong. The courts might have come really strong, but they didn't. So we have to judge this case on what happened, not the what could have been. And what happened is very different than the what could have been.
Yeah, this texter, and again, I just think we disagree because I think you are holding the league to now some moral standard that they have told you, quite frankly, they don't need to hold. The person texts back, CDOT, if it's not 8 games, then it's a true shame. And it shows that the NFL doesn't care about people's lives. First Henry Ruggs, now Rice, who's next? The NFL does not care. They don't care about their own players. They've showed us this before. Why do you think they care about people outside of the league? Like, what are we doing here? Again, I don't think that we can put our moral feelings onto the NFL and now expect them to play the court system. They've told you repeatedly, that's not what we are in the business of doing. They've told you that repeatedly. If somebody had gotten seriously injured in this thing, we'd be having a different conversation. If someone had died in this, then obviously he got 30 days in jail. We can't compare it to Michael Vick. Michael Vick did 18 months in federal, 18 months. Those 30 days, he did that 18 consecutive months. He did it. He did the Rashee Rice 30 days, and they were like, wait, why don't you stay in here for another 17 of these? We can't compare it to the Michael Vick situation. I don't mind the way that the NFL does this. I got a lot of issues with the NFL and the way they handle things. This isn't one of them. Hey, it's not our job to do this. That's what the legal system is for. We'll deal with it when they deal with it. And I think society would tell you this is a slap on the wrist. That's what society would tell you. That's what the ruling would tell you. Why do we want the NFL to be harder than a Texas courthouse? I can't think of any state that's tougher on crime than Texas. Can you think of one, Rob, that's tougher on this kind of stuff? If Texas is telling you, hey, you get away with the slap of the wrist, now we think Roger Goodell is supposed to be big bad. I don't think he's doing that at all. So I'm just saying is if you are expecting the NFL to drop the hammer on Rashee Rice and you think they should because of past incidents, I think you're about to be very disappointed about what's going to happen. I think you're going to be very disappointed. I'm not here telling you that he doesn't get suspended. I think it's obvious. Like, you can't get jail time and think you're going to just play all the games. You're going to miss something. We got enough reason to believe that it's going to be a lot less than a lot more. 8 seems like a big stretch to me. 6 to me seems like the ceiling for this. This seems like your standard violation of the NFL personal conduct policy, and that's a 6-game suspension. That's the same suspension that it is. And I know we play these, well, it's the same as. He is going to get the same suspension as somebody that bets on college football in the locker room. That's what Jameson Williams got. Remember Jameson Williams got that suspension? 6 games and he bet on college basketball in the locker room. He's going to get that. If you're going to play that what about, I'm telling you. you're going to be very disappointed at the way the NFL governs this thing. They're not in the business of doing that. They're in the business of entertaining you on Sundays. That's what they're in the business of. They're in the business of, hey, go play football. And they're going to let Rashee Rice play football, I'm telling you. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by Chris Kleiman. He is the head coach at Kansas State University. We're celebrating the Wildcats today. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
The Outlaws are coming. Get ready for the electrifying Show Me Shootout Truck and Tractor Pull Saturday, July 19th at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. 11 elite classes pulling on 2 tracks, featuring diesel pickups and semis battling it out for supremacy. Tickets starting at $20 at the gate. The Show Me Shootout Truck and Tractor Pull, July 19th at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Gates open at 4 p.m. and the action starts at 7 p.m. Check out Show Me Shootout Warrensburg, Missouri on Facebook for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-day sidewalk sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples, like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs, $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips, just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles, just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars, 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-day sidewalk sale this week, only at Hy-Vee.
I love Hy-Vee, and I love the fact that they're always finding new ways to save me money, like lower prices in every department. And on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, July 21st, earn a 40-cent discount per gallon with every $60 in groceries you purchase. So you can stock up for the summertime fun and stack up all of those fuel savings. Seeing that number roll back at the pump is so much fun, and saving money's even better. And you can do it with gas and groceries only at Hy-Vee.
It is out of here.
Man, if your strain isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or early signs of prostate cancer could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
GiveMeTheVin.com is already the best place to sell your car, and now it's even better with the GiveMeTheVin.com Big Cash Giveaway. Give Me The Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month. Sell us your car to increase your odds of winning big cash. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size. Because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Thursday, August 7th on Fesco and Dusty is Travis Kelce Appreciation Day.
Kelce, no side, he makes the catch and rolls into the end zone off the right shoulder.
Right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. We are happy to celebrate Kansas State athletics today. Let's talk a little football with their coach. Chris Kleiman joins us on the show today. Coach, really appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Let's just start with this. You guys have a unique season opener. How do you keep this game just like all the other games, even though it's not like any of your other games?
I think it's both. One, it isn't like any other game. It's a conference game, and so I think there does bring a lot of urgency into fall camp. But in the same respect, we've got to realize we've got 12 games this year, and although this one's important, we've got 11 more after it. So, but it's going to be a balance that we have in fall camp with making sure that we're getting the team ready for the entire season. But then specifically, we probably start our preparation a little bit earlier with a big conference game with Iowa State coming in August.
And then from just like a preparation standpoint, what's the balance between, I mean, this is a really fun once-in-a-lifetime trip. A lot of your players will never get the opportunity to go to Ireland again. So you want them to enjoy the experience of being in a new country, but there's also a business trip too. How do you balance those two things as you get ready to play Iowa State?
You know, that's probably the trickiest thing is it's not like you're going to the Pop-Tarts Bowl or the Rate Bowl or even the Sugar Bowl in the fact of, you know, it's a celebration, but at the end of that game, you have about a month off. This one for us it's a celebration of a great opportunity, like you said, a once-in-a-lifetime endeavor. But at the end of that game, we've got to get on a flight, fly 8 hours, and then prepare to play the next week. And so I just think the balance of what we're doing during fall camp as well as, you know, giving the kids a little bit of an experience of what Dublin, Ireland's like when we arrive there. But we're not there that long. I think we arrive on a Thursday morning, and we play on Saturday. So we'll do a little bit of maybe some sightseeing and maybe an activity on Thursday. But then it's, you know, then we got to lock the doors and get ready to play a game.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach at Kansas State University, Chris Kleiman. How important is it that two of your biggest leaders have been there now for a couple of years in Edwards and Johnson, and they're also Kansas kids, so they know what it means to be a Wildcat. They know what it means to be a part of this program.
It's huge, and I think the fact that those guys are both juniors now and really a good core of our team has been with us for a while. And when you get guys that are now upperclassmen like Avery and Dylan they have that experience factor, they have that maturity factor. They become tremendous leaders. Everybody knows how talented they are. But you know, they've been through a lot now. They've played a lot of college football, and so I'm excited for those two because they've had really good springs, really good summers, and I know big falls are ahead of those guys. For those guys.
What development have you seen in Avery's game as he is continuing to mature?
I think it's as much really cognitive development. You know, he's got unbelievable physical skills, and he's continuing to get bigger, stronger, faster, throwing the ball better and stuff. But I think it's more the experience and the cognitive of what you see pre-snap. Does it match what you see post-snap? That's such a big thing for quarterbacks to make sure that you can survey a defense, realize how much time's on the play clock, get us into the right protection, get us in the right call. All of a sudden the ball snaps, and it's like, okay, good, the game's starting to slow down because my what I thought before the snap is actually what it is at the snap. And I think that's the biggest thing you get with those game reps and game experience. And now he's a 13-game starter, and I know that he feels more comfortable coming up to the line of scrimmage.
I'm excited to see all of that come together with him because you mentioned the physical traits, and there's no question about the physical traits. Now we're talking about accuracy, getting that completion percentage up, and just having the full, complete package. If he puts it together, he can be one of the more dangerous players, not just in the conference, but in all of college football.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think he's already kind of put himself on the map in the conference, but I think he would tell you, we would tell you, that's the next step is he wants to put himself on the map nationally. And everybody knows who Avery Johnson is at the different media events I'm at, national and regional and local media. But we've got tremendous quarterbacks in this league. The Big 12 is loaded with really good quarterbacks. And I know that Avery's excited to perform out there and not just have it on paper, but to do it on the field and all the things that he's done since really the Rate Bowl ended with putting on quite a bit of muscle mass and weight, as well as, the cognitive part of continuing to learn and grow. The one thing about Avery is he's probably his own biggest critic. He wants to be perfect, and he strives for that perfection, and the perfection's almost impossible to get, but he's never going to be satisfied. And that's the thing that I really appreciate him. He's humble, but he's a really hungry guy as well.
I imagine that there are a lot of pushes for a player like Avery Johnson. I don't got to tell you about the transfer portal and NIL and all the different voices. How important is it to you that he has decided to be here through this? That is not normal in college football. Quarterbacks are changing programs and teams all the time. He's been there for 3 years. Like, this has been a very traditional kind of comeuppance. He was a freshman. He stayed there. He's behind somebody. Now he's taken over as a starter, and now he's into his second year. This is a very traditional college football story. How cool is that? What does it say about your program that he's gone through that experience with you guys?
I think it speaks volume of him. I think it speaks volume of he and his family. He's got tremendous parents and siblings that are supportive, and it's unique, but it's not unique to Avery Johnson. He wants to be at K-State. He wants to have a legacy of being a Kansas kid to come here and hopefully win a Big 12 championship and get a chance to compete in the college football playoff. When you do that in your home state, boy, there's something significant about that. And I know that is his aspirations. It's all of our aspirations, but I'm just so proud of how he's handled everything in this new era of what we have with college athletics and college football to remain grounded. He does as many things in the community, especially with our young kids in our community, as anybody on our football team. And but that's important to Avery, is making an impact and having an impact on different people that you encounter. And we're very fortunate to have Avery a part of K-State football.
What have you learned about yourself over these last 7 years? You were certainly a different coach. You have to be overdoing this the last 7 years. The rules have completely changed since you've been the head coach at Kansas State. What have you learned about yourself over these 7 years?
That I'm not looking any younger anymore. I'm looking older and older after 7 years of going through COVID and now the landscape of name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal to revenue sharing. You just wear so many hats. I think that's the thing that every year it seems like I have to put on a new hat. Or hat or two of different things that are thrown at you. But ultimately, for me and for all these guys and all of us coaches, on July 23rd, when I get to walk out of that office and go to practice, that's what I enjoy most about this. And that's what we all enjoy most about this is, you don't have to have your phone out at practice, and you can just go out and coach football and be around these guys. That's what I love about this game. But there's a lot of challenges going on in college athletics right now.
Let's talk about some of those challenges. I guess to start with this open-ended question, where do you think the state of college football is? What I think, just from looking at it, from the outside looking in, it feels like it's in a little bit of a hybrid, that it is trying to maintain amateurism in a way, and I don't think that model works anymore, but it's not yet fully committed to being a professional league, even though that's what it is becoming. Some of the athletes are millionaires. You're a millionaire. Everybody is getting paid big-time bucks to be here. Where do you feel about the state of where we are with the sport?
I think that's going to be determined over the next couple of years and how this revenue sharing works out, how the name, image, and likeness piece is a part of it. I know this, and I tell people this all the time. Between the lines, this game is as in good a shape as it's ever been, and there's as good a players or better players and coaches than it's ever been. But outside of the lines, I'll be honest, I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about the guardrails that we have to have in place. I'm concerned about having an equitable playing field with some people having a $14 million roster or an $8 million roster, and then the other schools that may have a $50 and $60 million roster. That's not healthy for the game if you're trying to keep parity and having it equitable. But I think we're going to find out about some of those things with the guardrails that are trying to be put in place over the next couple of years.
I am all for adding rules to college football. Is everybody going to follow the rules? Because I got 50, 60, 70 years of examples in college football that it doesn't matter what the rules say that they are. There's going to be a large group of people that circumvent them rules. That's my biggest thing, too. I am all for implementing new rules for the transfer portal, having a salary cap, just treating this more like a professional business, treating it like a professional sport. But can you get everybody to agree to do that? That seems like one of the biggest challenges for the sport.
It definitely is, and love for somebody to take that on and be a commissioner of college football, because that's kind of where we need to start getting to, as a commissioner of the Power Four leagues that controls all four leagues, and I don't know if that's going to happen in my lifetime or not, but collective bargaining, all those things are something that I think is coming down the line here sometime. I just don't know how soon.
Right now, we're talking to the head coach at Kansas State University, Chris Kleiman, for a couple of more minutes here. I've got a question about the college football playoff. There's been a lot of debate, a lot of questions back and forth about what the format should be. It doesn't feel like anybody is on the same page with this. Is there a format that you like? You're one of the people affected by this because you got a team that has a chance to compete for one of these spots.
Yeah, right now I think as a league, and I agree with our league, we would like to have the 5 and 11 model. If we end up going to 16, get your 5 automatic qualifiers and then find the 11 best teams. Right now, I think that's the best way to do it. All the automatic qualifiers that you're hearing about, make people earn it on the field. I think scheduling has a big factor in that. Some schools can't play 9 conference games, and other conferences can't play 8 conference games. We've got to get everybody somewhat on the same page, and if that means we have more cross-conference games where we play a Big Ten, SEC, ACC school, I think that's going to be important. But all those things are going to take some time to get figured out. But I'm in big favor of the 5 champions, 4 in the Power 4, and then the group of 5, and then get the 11 best after that.
Coach, I'm a little bit torn about preseason polls. Like, one side of me likes it. It's just kind of cool to see what people think about teams. But I will admit that a lot of people's perceptions based on how they feel about a team, they are shaped June, July, and August, and it's kind of hard to overcome those things. So I certainly get why a league, a conference like the Big 12 doesn't want a preseason poll and how they want to stay away from it. Just, this isn't maybe even a question. Just as a fan, this is something that I am very torn about, that we are kind of going away from having these preseason polls.
I hate the preseason polls. I don't think we should do a preseason AP and USA Today coaches poll, but that's not going to change. That's the tradition of it. But, you look at teams that start off top 5. Florida State last year, they lose the first 2 games, and they're still in the top 15, and maybe and that's just an example. Then you get a team like Arizona State that starts off 3-0 and can't get a vote because they weren't voted early. I think we should wait until the CFP does their ranking in November, and then we can put the polls out so that you're not doing it based on what you did in 2014 or what you did in 1994. It's based on each year, and we all know that all these rosters are changing. I have no idea what some of these schools in our league are going to be based on what transfers they got, what additions they had. Nobody knows that on any of these schools, and so I would just assume we wait at least until mid-October to do a poll, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be a part of it with the national polls that come out. That's why we didn't do it in the Big 12. We thought it hurt Arizona State big time last year.
Coach, you're right. You're 100% right. But part of me hates that you're right. Like, what you're saying is 100% right. Like, we see that all the time. However people feel about you in August, that ends up shaping it. So you're right. If you're one of those marquee teams with a brain, if you're USC and then you lose a couple of games, to me, you just always start from such a high playing field where if you're a team that's unranked, you just have such a mountain to climb. But I don't know, man. There's just something cool about when you watch that first week of the season, you got 9 against 11 against each other. Maybe it's just tradition. That's how it's always been,
And you're 100% right. But that's the tradition that, unfortunately, college football and college athletics are going away a little bit from that tradition. You know, whether it's conference realignment to transfer portal revenue sharing, what we all knew growing up is a different game right now. And once again, I don't think that game is different on the field. I just think it's different off the field. And we've got to be able to wrap our arms around that and say, okay, we're going to have to adjust some things moving forward.
Coach, I always love talking to you because you and I both want the same thing. I want college football to be the absolute best that it can be. I want it to be a very different game than the NFL, but I also want it to be very similar. And the point that you made earlier about uniformity, I think that's the biggest issue right now with college football. This conference has this rules, this conference has this rules, this conference can do this thing, where if we could find some uniformity, we could take what already is a magical game and we can improve it that much more by just getting everybody on the same page.
You got it. You're right. I agree.
That is Chris Kleiman, Kansas State's head coach, joining us on the show today. Coach, you and I agreed on so much today. I love today's conversation.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That is Coach Chris Kleiman joining us on the show today. You know what, man? We need more people like that in the game. We need more people in power that just think, you know what, Carrington, you're right. No, you're 100% right. I see college football the exact same thing. I want the exact same things that you do. You know, this is why I tell you K-State fans, I don't have any issues with K-State. I love K-State. An enemy of an enemy is my friend, right? Isn't that the saying? I love K-State. Rob, are you with him on preseason polls? I'm genuinely torn on preseason polls. Where do you stand on preseason polls?
So I think me and you are going to have a very similar answer on this. I like the fodder. I like the fun. I like the argument. How dare you have this school at number 6 in the conference? Can you, like, in a few weeks, the AP is going to drop their preseason top 25, and I can't wait to argue about, wait a second, why is Florida State back in the top 25? What have they? It's going to be a lot of fun. I enjoy that fodder. But Chris Kleiman is correct. The fact that the AP Top 25, which is not supposed to affect the college football playoff rankings, creates an inherent bias is a problem for the college football, powers. I mean, Arizona State is the absolute perfect example. No one knew the teams they were playing were good or bad. They start 3-0. They then continue to win, and they're not a top 25 team until they're 5-0. And even then, they're like 23. It's like, oh, look, this plucky upstart. They were better than the 23rd team in the country in week 5. It's only because the AP had them unranked preseason, and I think it affected their seeding, and it affected all the things. We need to scrap it. I will miss it. It will be sad, and I will truly be hurt by it, but it is better for everyone if we just scrap the poll, especially locally. Let's be honest. All 3 schools would benefit immensely from no poll because they don't have the name cachet as Bama, Auburn, Florida. They just don't. So it would be great locally, too.
I actually think it's a little bit different. I'm not saying this just because I'm a fan. I think it's different because Missouri's in the SEC. Like, them being in the SEC, I think gives different. Being the 4th best team in the SEC is better than being perceived to be the 2nd best team in the Big 12. So that's all I mean. I'm with you. I'm not making it seem like Missouri is much better than K-State, but I think we all acknowledge that college football gives a little bit of an extra kiss if you were in the SEC. So yes, maybe you happen to be unranked, but if you beat another team that people perceive to be really good, like this year, if you beat South Carolina, that is going to be viewed as such a massive win for you as a program. That I just think it changes because you're in the SEC. There's more ranked teams. You play more marquee games, more prominent games. That's where I think the difference is in those two. I think that is the only difference between them. Rob, let's get back to this Rashee Rice topic, and we can take you guys' phone calls. We haven't taken any phone calls today on this. 913-586-7965. If you want to chime in, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to give us your thoughts on Rashee Rice, we now have the information. He got 5 years probation. He got 30 days in jail. He has 5 years to serve those 30 days, and we are all waiting to see what the National Football League is going to rule when it comes to this. Someone asked a good question. Do you want them to go out and add somebody now that we have this information? The answer for me is just going to be a no. I think the Chiefs are fine to manage 4, 5, 6 weeks of not having Rashee Rice. I mean, let's just go through their wide receiver core. You'll have Xavier Worthy. You'll have Hollywood Brown. You have Juju Smith-Schuster. You spent, third-round pick to go get Jalen Royals. I mean, that's good enough to go get you through the first half of the season where you don't need to go out and make a roster move. Now, if an injury happens, obviously that changes things. But, I mean, at this point, is there a quality wide receiver that you think the Chiefs can pick up? It's July 17th. You're picking up somebody who is unemployed for a reason. Now, if you're just telling me you just want another body, okay, sure, I guess. I mean, I'm not here to argue that if that's what you think. But if we're talking about production actually being able to help the Kansas City Chiefs, I just don't know if it's worth it for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, especially when you got guys. Worthy's shown you that he can play without Rashee Rice. I mean, he didn't basically have Rashee Rice for any point of his rookie season. Certainly the last 15, 16 games of it. Hollywood Brown is back, knock on wood, he can stay healthy. I mean, if that's your 1-2 for the first part of the season, with Juju coming in as your number 3, you got Jalen Royals, you still got Travis Kelce and Noah Gray, you have a more diverse running back room than you had last time, you have a healthy Isaiah Pacheco, again, knock on wood heading into the season, you certainly got enough where you don't need to go pick up a guy who was unemployed in the middle of July to help you at wide receiver. So if you're asking me right now, my answer for them picking up somebody in the face of this is a no. There's some positions it would be a yes. Not really when it comes to wide receiver. I think they're fine in the interim.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
I don't even know what this is.
This is some NFL news, and it's an eye-popping number. TJ Watt has a new contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We need to stop this for TJ Watt's deal. How much did he get?
3 years, $123 million with $108 million guaranteed. The $41 million per year is the highest non-quarterback salary in the history of the NFL.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's a lot.
108 guaranteed on a 3-year deal.
It's a whole lot of money. That's what he got. Salute to him.
I still wish we hadn't. The number's too eye-popping to die in the sounder.
I wish we hadn't stopped the whole show for that, but man, I don't got nothing else to say other than yeah. Goodness gracious. How much did he get again? What was that? 3 for what?
He signed a 3-year, $123 million extension with $108 million guaranteed. $41 million per year on average makes him the highest non-quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
Hey, man, dudes is out here getting paid, man. I can't blame you for that. I want to respond to this one text. Someone texted in 913-586-7965. C-Dot, Hollywood Brown always gets hurt. The Chiefs need to go get somebody. Now, I'm asking this question. I don't ask this to be condescending. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just simply making an observation. What's changed about the Chiefs wide receiver room in the last, 3 hours? I mean, we all knew that a suspension for Rashee Rice was possible, right? It's not like we're caught off guard by this. The incident happened in March of last year. We've always known that this cloud was over the Chiefs, that a suspension was going to happen. We always were waiting for it to rain. Waiting for it to happen in the middle of the summer is usually the right play when it comes to these things regarding the National Football League. So I'm simply asking, what's changed? You brought back Hollywood on a 1-year deal. You knew his injury concerns. You brought back Juju on a 1-year deal. You knew his injury concerns. You brought back all of these individuals in the face of Rashee Rice coming back from an ACL and a suspension that we all know is going to happen. Who is surprised if the NFL announces this? Like, oh man, I can't believe this. We all knew this was coming. So I don't really think anything has changed. So I don't know why, if you weren't super interested in Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen 2 days ago, I don't really know why you'd be super interested in those guys today. They've been sitting there this whole time. You could have gotten them and threw them in the mix and been prepared for the Rashee Rice suspension. Maybe I'm overreacting to this. I just don't see this as that big of a deal. I'm not saying that Rice isn't important, but I don't really think, kind of like the Trey Smith contract extension. I mean, we all knew that this was going to happen at some point. This isn't catching us off guard. What catches you off guard if Travis Kelce misses the first 8 games because of something? That's not something the Chiefs are preparing for. Hey, we're preparing for him to be here. I think you've always known there's a chance that I don't even know if Rashee Rice is going to be healthy enough to play week 1 of the NFL season. That was always a possibility. He tore his ACL less than a year ago. So no, I'm not super interested in going to get Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper. Why is Amari Cooper available in the middle of July? You're telling me all of these teams, no one wants Amari Cooper. Like, that doesn't scream something's going on with anybody. Also, again, I'm not really sure if Amari Cooper is that good. Last season, he had less than 600 yards for two separate teams. Oh, well, he was in Cleveland. Oh, in Buffalo, he had 20 catches for 300 yards. He was a non-factor for Buffalo last year. We can take you guys' phone calls on this, 913-586-7965. I'm not telling you I'm adamantly opposed them going out and making a move. I definitely don't see it as a need and something they have to do as we head into training camp. I don't really think we got any new information about the Chiefs. If anything, we have a definitive timeline of when it's going to be. Now we can just get it out of the way. Suspend Rashee Rice from the very beginning. We don't got to worry anymore. We'll tell Xavier Worthy to hold it down. We'll tell Hollywood Brown to hold it down. Juju, you got to give us something. And then we'll move on from there. And then hopefully by Halloween, Rashee Rice is back and you're 6-2, 7-1, and you're ready for the second half of the season. That's how I would play it if I'm the Chiefs. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Headed out for a summer getaway? Make your airport parking a breeze with Casey's favorite, Park and Go. All spots are covered so your car stays cool and protected while you're soaking up the sun. Hop on a quick air-conditioned shuttle that picks you up right at your car and drops you off at the terminal. Always the best service, always the best price. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7. Fast, easy, and stress-free. Park and Go, family owned and operated, and proud to be part of your summer travel plans.
Ready for the job that you actually want? It's not too late to build that career that you've been dreaming of, with careers that you can start in as little as 4 months.
Take it from Prince, a recent graduate through the Centric IT Career Program, who said the journey has not only given me a strong foundation in information technology, but has also helped me grow as a person in ways I never expected.
That and so many other students with great experiences at Centric. Get that new career in as little as 4 months. Go talk to Russ Mondry over at Centric.com.
Ahoy, mateys. Set your course for Harris, Kansas City on Saturday, July 26th, where over $100,000 in prizes are waiting at our treasure chest drawing. One lucky winner will take home $50,000 in cold, hard cash. And every 15 minutes, you could snatch up to $2,500 in free play. Plus, earn 5-time extra entries every Saturday night through July 26th to boost your odds of striking gold. It's the summer's hottest treasure hunt, only at Harris, Kansas City. Yo-ho-ho!
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken.
Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You've got a wreck downtown 35 southbound past Paseo in the right lane, and down near Raytown 435 southbound just past 70. It is the right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Rob, this has nothing to do with football. I just want to tell you anyway. I saw a couple of tweets that I think would interest you. The first tweet that I think would interest you are the top 5 most popular shows on streaming. Do you think you could guess what those shows are if I had to tell you in July what the 5 most popular streaming shows are?
Ooh, I think I do okay. I think I get a couple of them. The Bear's going to be on there.
For sure. The Bear's number 4 on the list.
Ironheart on there?
Ironheart is not on the list.
Okay. What about Tires?
Not on the list.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I'm going to do worse than I thought.
I mean, obviously, you already have 2 strikes.
What's that one that just came out on?
One seems very obvious. It's the most popular show on television this summer.
Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the most popular show on television this summer.
I don't want to play
Love
this.
Island.
I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this game with you anymore.
Love Island.
Number 1, Love Island. Yep. 2.3 billion hours of streams. 2.3 billion hours. Second is Squid Game.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3 is The Waterfront. I've never heard of that before.
I actually started The Waterfront. I was thinking of another Netflix show. Okay.
And number 4 is The Bear. Number 5 is The Sandman, also on Netflix. Those have been the 5 most popular stream shows over the last week or so. And I also saw this. Netflix also released there, since we're in the middle of the year, what have been the most popular television shows for them. Number 5, Missing You. Have you seen this show before?
I don't know. I've never heard of Missing You.
Some of these shows I never heard of before, and I watch a lot of Netflix. Number 4, Zero Day.
I have seen Zero Day.
I have not seen
Zero
this.
Day with Robert De Niro. It's very good. Worth watching. It's like 8 episodes.
Number 3 is the most recent season of Squid Game. So the one that just came out, like a week or so ago.
Which, underwhelming.
I'm like halfway done with it right now.
You should quit.
I think it's worse. The issues you have with the show, I don't have with the show.
Gets worse.
I still love the show. It's great to me.
That's fine. Number 3.
Number 2 is the second season of Squid Game. So people are still watching that to catch back up. It's obviously been out longer too as well.
Got it.
Adolescence. That is the most popular show on Netflix for the first half of the year. Adolescence.
What is Adolescence?
I've never seen it.
I don't know anything about Adolescence.
I never seen it, brother. That's why I'm here to tell you. I ain't never seen it before.
Doesn't sound like we're key demo for that show. But
I don't know. I ain't even seen no Love Island. You seen Love Island?
Love Island is not for me.
Well, I ain't never seen it. I know that one girl. What's her name? Huda Hudda. What's the young lady name?
I literally know none of the characters in Love Island.
I didn't see it before. She's a baddie, so I mean I get it.
I know the concept of the show. Or at least based on people.
I don't even know the concept of the show.
It seems like you get pulled away and you have a chat, and if you get voted to stay, you stay, and if not, you leave.
All I know is people don't seem to like that Hudda girl, whatever the girl's name is.
It's a British show, right?
Why are you asking me? I don't know. I don't have any answers to this question.
Never mind. Text line's not going to know about Love Island.
2.3 billion streams. A lot of people on the text line watch Love Island. a lot of you watch Love Island. I'm like, oh, man, my girl watching. No, you watch it with her too, brother. You've been watching it too. You've been keeping up with Chris.
I saw
that's one of the characters. Chris, you've been keeping up.
I don't know if this bar was in Kansas City or not. I was on my Instagram reels. There was a bar that had a giant watch party as if it was a Super Bowl, and people were going nuts during the show with all the TVs on. That's wild.
Yeah, no. A lot of places here locally had a watch party. I haven't seen a second of it. I just seen it on TikTok, but I'm here to tell you that 2.3, this was just in the last week, 2.3 hours of stream, 2.3 billion hours of streams for Love Island. It is a very, very popular show. We were talking about the possibility of the Chiefs going out and making a move in face of what we all deem to be a Rashee Rice suspension. Like, you ain't getting jail time and then think that you're not getting suspended by the National Football League. Now, none of us know how long that suspension is going to be. None of us know. That could be a 2-game suspension, which we don't need to be having this conversation. They're certainly not picking up a veteran for 2 games. Or it could be a half a season. It could be an 8-game suspension. Someone texted in, CDOT, do we have a pattern of when the NFL will make this type of decision once the court's decision is made? How long after is the NFL decision? Is it pretty consistent? I believe we will know before the Chiefs break from St. Joe. I don't think this is something that now that we have the information, they're just going to announce in week 5 of the NFL season what the suspension is. It's the summer. The Chiefs are one of your marquee franchises. They play in one of your marquee season opening games. I think if you're Clark Hunt and you've been the good partner to the NFL, I don't think telling them, hey, can you find out in the next 45 days what the suspension is? I don't think you're asking a whole lot if that's the case. This happened in March of 2024. You've had the ability to interview Rashee Rice. You've had that for 2 summers if you want to interview Rashee Rice. You have all the details of the case right now. All we were waiting on is what the penalty was going to be from the courts. I don't think asking the NFL, hey, can we have a ruling in the next 45 days or so is unfair. The Chiefs play, 50 days from now? They play 50 days from now. I think heading into game week against the Chargers, knowing what the status of your roster is, I think you're asking a pretty fair question. So I think we're going to get this information sooner rather than later. And I'm just looking at some of these names, and none of these names excite me. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Robert Woods. Don't they already have these guys on their team? I just think they're guys that you already have. I mean, Amari Cooper, it's over. I mean, he had a great career. Don't get me wrong. It's over. I mean, 2 years ago, he was the man, homie. I mean, he was phenomenal. He had 1,200 yards back in 2023. He was great in 2022. This past season, he had 250 yards. He got traded. Then he had 297 yards. And now it's the middle of the summer, and he's unemployed. Robert Woods? No. I'm not excited about a Robert Woods contract. Is he on the team? He signed with Pittsburgh, I think. So he's not even available. Yeah, none of these moves get me excited. Somebody said, what about Kadarius Toney? I might block you. I genuinely might block you.
I feel like
with love, I might block you, though.
I think this question will answer why you feel the way about veterans versus the text line does. What are your expectations for Jalen Royals? Because let's just put Rashee Rice to the side. There's Hollywood Brown. There's Xavier Worthy. There's then Juju Smith-Schuster.
Jalen Royals is your 4th receiver, your 4th or 5th receiver for this upcoming year. I'm just saying, and I don't think this is talking about his ability. If it took Rashee Rice a half season to get cooking, if it took Xavier Worthy, one of them played at SMU, the other one played at Texas. So if it took them 8 to 10 weeks to get going, what do I think the kid from Utah State that's coming in as a mid-round pick? I think it's fair to say it's going to take him a couple of months. So I know what happened with Rashee Rice, and now you feel like it's going to accelerate his timeline. I'm just saying, based on recent success, recent hits, we would say, from the Chiefs at wide receiver, if you were counting on a lot from Jalen Royals in week 3, I think you have very unrealistic expectations. So I would go into this thinking that our core wide receivers are 3 guys that should know this system. Juju Smith-Schuster, who has played in multiple Super Bowls for you. Hollywood Brown, who this is his second year in the system, a guy who has been in this league for quite some time, and Xavier Worthy, another player. This is now his second year in the system. He's been here. He knows this. There's a lot of continuity. This is your second year in this offense, second year with this quarterback. I think you're fine. That you don't need to implement a new receiver who hasn't been here. You need to implement him for a couple of weeks. To me, this suspension is not a break-in case of emergency. I get why you went out to go get DJ Humphries. That was an emergency last year. You didn't have a left tackle. Yeah, let's see what we got here. I don't see Rashee Rice maybe being suspended for the first month of the season. I don't see that as a break-in case of emergency. We need to go make a move to fulfill this role. I think you trust the guys that you have.
I don't think they're going to make a move now, but I would be surprised if the Chiefs aren't making a move the week they break camp. Remember last year, the first preseason game of the year, Hollywood Brown gets hurt. So they did not have a Rashee Rice injury at this point in time. They still had Xavier Worthy. They still had, at the time, the idea of Sky Moore. Like, they had capable wide receivers. That's rewinding the clock a year ago. What'd they do after camp ended before the regular season? They re-signed Juju Smith-Schuster. You would have told me at this time last year, it's not dire, you don't need a body. They didn't go out and get a body. Now, it was at the end of camp. You go get a surprise cut guy. You can, there's a larger talent pool to pick from. But I think that week where they're out of camp and they're about to head to Sao Paulo, I think they will add a surprise cut candidate because they did last year when their receiving room looked the same on paper.
You're right. And if we're talking about them just adding a guy, McCole Hardman had 90 yards receiving last year. Now, he got injured. I get that. He wasn't a major factor in what you were doing last season. So, yes, if you were telling me that if McCole Hardman gets cut from the Green Bay Packers, would the Chiefs potentially bring McCole Hardman back to carry them for okay, sure. But very rarely in these situations do the Chiefs kind of go outside the family. The Chiefs don't really go date new people. The Chiefs go in their phone. They text people that they've already talked to before, people that have already been pre-screened, and they go on a date with them. Can you think of a time where the Chiefs just went out and just got Amari Cooper to be a bridge for what they're doing? Like, that's just not really how they operate. They go back and get a Jerick McKinnon. They go back and get a CJ Spiller. They go back and get these same kind of guys. Now they're picking up Robert Woods in August. That just would be a very un-Chiefs-like move. This whole offseason has been about continuity. Every move they've made has been guys that we already know. They normally don't make these kind of moves. So I would just be surprised if that's what they do. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Avery Johnson. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by the athletic director at K-State University, Gene Taylor. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Pro USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-444-8992. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Pro USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-444-8992. 800-444-8992. That's 800-444-8992.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey there, Kansas Lottery here. And we want to get together for a game or two. Meet us at your favorite retailer or wherever you like to buy your tickets, and we can let the games begin. There's a lot of fun and cash on the line. See kslottery.com for details.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, still working the stall downtown, 70 westbound on the ramp to 35 southbound. And then we've got towards Independence, 70 eastbound as you approach 435, right lane blocked from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here on 96.5 The Fan. We are continuing K-State Day on The Drive. We are talking to Gene Taylor. He is the athletic director for Kansas State University. Gene, happy to have you join us today.
It's good to be on, and, pretty soon, pretty exciting time of the year as always.
Absolutely. There is a lot of news to get your thoughts and opinions on, so I'm really happy to talk to you. I guess let's just start with this. I thought that there was a theme at Big 12 Media Day. A lot of it was around NIL and a salary cap. A lot of it was also around the playoff. I guess let's start with this. How has your job changed now where it is so much about fundraising and being competitive and being able to keep up with NIL? How has your job changed over the last 3-4 years?
Well, the fundraising has always been a big part of AD's job, whether you're fundraising for facilities or just scholarships or operational needs. This is a little different conversation with donors because of the, whether it's a perception or negative perception a donor may have. But I think it's just really explaining to the donors what this is all about, how it came about, how it's still very important, how we need to help us to be competitive. So it's a really more of a different conversation, from the fundraising perspective. From the other side, it's just putting this plan in place from when it started, probably over a year ago, without a lot of information. As everybody's used this terminology, we're building the plane as we're flying it. So, coaches need answers, athletes need answers, parents do. And yet we didn't have a lot of those answers until the settlement was decided, on June 6th, which was, all of a sudden July 1st it takes effect. So there's still a lot of unanswered questions as we get through the settlement. So it's just really managing through all that. But from a fundraising perspective, it's still really a key part of our job that we've had for a long time.
That's the part that seems the most difficult about your job, like my job, for example. You know, there are words I know I can't say. Like, I know what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say. There are certain things I can do and what I can't do. It feels like with your job, there have always been very defined rules. These are the rules of the NCAA. I'm not really sure what they are right now. You can transfer wherever, you can make whatever you want. How difficult does that make your job? You mentioned the flying the plane or building the plane while it's still flying feels like the perception is you are operating within a system that doesn't appear to have any rules right now.
Well, we certainly were before the settlement was approved. There's no question about that. There were no rules. And we went, you're exactly right, we went from a very rule-oriented industry to one that didn't have rules for probably 18 months or so. And now that the settlement is here, you know, those are now our new rules. It's under the College Sports Commission, and we all have to live within the 20.5, but there's still a lot of questions about that and how, not so much about the number, but besides that 20.5, what else can an athlete receive and how can they receive it? And right now, that's really kind of the biggest question. We think we know, based on what the settlement is, that it has to be true NIL. It has to come from a true business perspective. Has to have a certain range of compensation, but that's already being challenged in the courts. So, you know, we hope that we have these guardrails that we've asked for a long time to get back into some more specific rules that still allow the athletes to earn an opportunity to share in the revenue, but all within the equal playing field. And we're hoping to get there sooner rather than later, but it's not quite there yet.
This was a theme that came up multiple times during Big 12 Media Day was the term salary cap. Deion Sanders used this. Mike Gundy used it. Lance Leipold alluded to it as well. What do you make of a salary cap? What do you think of the idea of having a salary cap in this conversation?
Well, it's, you know, again, that's where the uncomfortableness comes from, you know, from donors and from folks that, wait a minute, we're paying our athletes. They're an employee now. They're a salary. Well, no, it's not really a salary cap. It's a revenue share cap number. And then that we as institutions decide how much of that revenue is going to go to which sports, and then within that sport, how that revenue is distributed. So I know it's an easy term to use because that's what the NFL uses, the NBA, the pro leagues. But it's really not a salary cap because they're not employees. It's a revenue share cap. It's based on a formula that came out of the lawsuit of 22% of the average gross revenue of the Power 5 institutions. You know, they started at 50%, the plaintiff's attorneys did, and then they backed off from there with, you know, well, you already give them scholarships, you already give them this, you already give them that. So that's how they came up with the 22%. So really it's a revenue share cap to be distributed amongst your athletes however you want to. So I don't use the term salary cap, but it's an easy term to fall back into just based on that's what people are used to.
Right now, we're talking to Gene Taylor. He is the athletic director at Kansas State University. We're celebrating the Wildcats today. I know that the conference didn't do a preseason poll, but if they did, you guys would have been near the top of it for your football team. How exciting is it to have a team that people think can win the Big 12 and ultimately can make the college football playoff and compete for a national championship?
Well, I think I'm kind of like Coach Kleiman on this one. I prefer to be coming from the back end and, you know, being surprising everybody. But, yeah, and it's obviously, you know, Coach works really hard. This team's worked really hard. They've got a lot of good players. And, you know, obviously people feel that we have a good chance to compete. This conference is difficult, though. I mean, Iowa State's good. Texas Tech's going to be good. You know, there's a lot of programs out there that, you know, BYU Arizona State obviously wasn't one that was picked last year. And so, you know, we all know how difficult this conference is to, you know, get through, you know, from start to finish. And, you know, we're going to start off with a tough one, obviously, on the road in Ireland. So it's great to be there and to be considered as a good football team. But I think at the end of the day, we just rather go out and come from the back end and just surprise everybody. But I don't know that we're going to be able to do that because I do think we have pretty talented football players.
A couple of things here, and I'll get you out of here. The first thing is I got a chance to go to a basketball game. I went to this, I think it was the second to last home game this past year. A friend gave me courtside seats, and let me tell you, I had the most phenomenal day in Manhattan, Kansas. This is my guess. I'm guessing once you get an athlete to actually take an official or unofficial there, and they get to experience Manhattan for themselves, I'm guessing you guys got a really high success rate of getting that athlete to come. I don't know how you couldn't be 17, 18 years old, go to Manhattan and be like, man, this is a really nice place.
Well, our coaches talk about it, not just in football and basketball, but literally all of our sports. The trick is to get them here. Once we get them here, we have a really good shot at getting them, because when you look at our facilities across the board, you look at our community, it's a great community. It's different. I think a lot of people's perception is you're in the middle of Kansas, and it's not looking like what Manhattan looks like or feels like. So, yeah, we get athletes here and their families here and the atmosphere. We have a really good chance of having them come on board with this. But it's a great place. We've got great facilities athletic-wise. We've got an athletic complex that's really unique and together, where a lot of places are spread out. So we got a pretty good thing going, that's for sure.
Last thing here, we don't got to get super deep into it. There certainly will be time for it. I don't have to tell you how important this upcoming basketball program is for your university, how important it is for your head coach. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts as you guys head into a very critical basketball season?
Well, just the basketball world is so unique, and I think Coach Tang, being a new coach a couple of years ago, his world has changed dramatically as a new head coach, and I think he's learned a lot. I think he's adjusted really well in the new environment of the massive transfers, and then how to build a team from massive transfers. I give him a lot of credit for a tremendous amount of self-evaluation, not only with him and his staff, but how to go about it. I think he feels they're in a good spot right now. I think he feels the kind of players he's got coming in are going to be good cultured players. So, we'll see. We got to get in and play the game. And, again, very much like football, it's a very difficult conference, but I think we're a much better place currently building the team, and I think he feels better about it now than he probably did over a year ago. So I think he's really made some really nice adjustments.
That is Gene Taylor. He is the athletic director at Kansas State University, joining us on the show today as we celebrate the Wildcats. Gene, I look forward to having you down the line. Pop on with us. Really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Anytime. Have a good day.
Absolutely. That is Gene Taylor. He is the athletic director at Kansas State University. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Avery Johnson. He's actually not been on the show yet, so really excited to get a chance to catch up with him. We are going to celebrate K-State today. We're also going to continue to talk about the top story, Rashee Rice. We at least know the criminal side of things. What does that mean for the football side of things? We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, still working the stall downtown, 70 westbound on the ramp to 35 southbound. And then we've got towards Independence, 70 eastbound as you approach 435. Right lane blocked from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val. 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Listening is so important, and that's what Dawn Sharp does. She listens to her clients' needs. Buying or selling a home is stressful, and you want an agent who puts your needs at the top of every single list. And you want to contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Ask them about their instant offer program. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team, or better yet, pay them a visit at homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing.
It's time to find out who was in the zone. Presented by AutoZone. No baseball team was hotter going into the midseason break than Toronto. Putting together an impressive streak before the break, Toronto was able to secure first place in their division over the favorites in New York. They have soared up the rankings behind an impressive pitching staff and scoring no less than 3 runs in each of their wins. Can they continue the streak coming out of the break? In the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Missouri sports fans, I got great news for you. Underdog is now available to play in your state, and you can go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. As we get ready to roll into the 4th of July holiday, the baseball action is heating up, and Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, total bases, and so much more. And once that entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Maybe it's time for Vinny Pasquantino to start heating up, and you love the over on his total bases this weekend. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with millions in guaranteed prizes. Details at circasports.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
It's summertime, and I love being outside, hanging out, doing all of those great outdoor activities. But if you have knee, hip, or shoulder pain and it's not getting any better, and you're stuck in a cycle of steroid shots, and now they're talking about surgery, slow down a minute. I may have the solution for you. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and my friends at QC Kinetics are the leaders in regenerative medicine, using treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. And the best part about it is there's no meds, there's no surgery. It's advanced cellular therapy. These aren't Band-Aids. We're not masking the pain. It goes right to the root of the problem. And the best part is you can get a free second opinion. A licensed medical provider will go over your x-rays or MRI and see if you're a good fit for these breakthrough treatments, and it doesn't cost anything. So call QC Kinetics today, 816-412-6299, off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. Saturday appointments available. It's QC Kinetics.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Kansas City. And our more than 30 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we are going to play for you our conversation with Avery Johnson. It was actually the first time that I've ever talked to Avery Johnson. We've always tried to get him on in the past. At one point, he was a freshman, so we could never really find the time for the schedules to kind of line up last year, but we finally got it. We figured it out. Avery Johnson will be on the show, so really excited to be joined by the quarterback of the Kansas State Wildcats. We have been talking about the top story here locally. Certainly no disrespect to K-State on K-State Day. If you missed it, check out the podcast page. We have an exclusive interview with Jerome Tang. I talked to him for about 20 minutes. We moved that to the podcast page because of everything happening with Rashee Rice. We have the athletic director and the football coach on the show today. K-State fans, we've shown you a lot of love, and Avery Johnson's about to be on the show. So I don't want to hear no complaining from you guys. We've been talking a lot about Rashee Rice today. Rashee Rice has, at least we know what his punishment is going to be from the Texas court system. He has 5 years probation. He has 30 days in jail. He has to complete those 30 days within 5 years. That is my understanding of what his penalty is. Rob, I think Rashee Rice got off very, very fortunate. I don't want to make light of what happened because what happened is very, very serious. A lot of bad things could have happened. But Everybody was able to walk away from this. There were some injuries. It looks like Rashee Rice is paying what he needs to pay in terms of people's medical bills and making sure that they're taken care of. He does have a jail sentence, not the most severe jail sentence we've ever seen, but he does get a little bit of jail time. He is going to be on probation. He does need to keep his head down and do the right things for who knows how long of a period that's going to be. They say it's 5. Could it be shorter? I don't know. I think all things on a personal level, this is not the worst thing that could happen. And now if you're the Chiefs, more than anything, I believe that this gives you certainty. That's what this gives you, certainty. It's been pretty uncertain. We all have known that a suspension is going to happen at some point with Rashee Rice, but none of us knew when that was going to be. We have all speculated. Was it going to be now? Is it going to be now? We don't have the exact answer, but I do know this. It's going to be sometime in 2025. I don't think that he is playing this entire season, all 17 weeks plus the postseason. No, he is going to be suspended at some time this season. Now, is that going to be for week 1? I certainly hope so. I think that's the most fair way to handle this, but I don't have the exact answer when it comes to this. I don't think anyone does. But I think if you were the Chiefs, I don't think the length of suspension matters that much. And again, I don't say that to make light of what we're talking about, but if you're the Chiefs, and I've been here enough, you guys don't take the early season very seriously. Let's say the Chiefs start 2-2, for example. I mean, that's possible. They play the Chargers playoff team from last year, Philadelphia playoff team from last year, and Baltimore playoff team. I'm not saying they will, but we at least have to understand it's possible they could start 2-2. I don't think you guys are going to be too panicked. I also don't think you should be super panicked about it. I'm not here to define the Chiefs by September 28th. I'm here to define the Chiefs by January 28th. And are they the champions on February? I guess you can't be 28th. You can in leap year. You guys get the point I'm making. So I don't think necessarily a first half suspension is that big of a deal. Not for this team. It's a big deal for some other teams. I don't think it's a big deal, especially for a team that didn't have Rashee Rice basically at any point past the middle of September last year. So what's a few more weeks? I think all in all, if you're a Chiefs fan, you got to be happy about the way that this thing came together. I don't think he gets a 12-game suspension. If it ends up being an 8-game suspension, I mean, that's not ideal. That would put him in line to be back for the Buffalo game. You can live with that with the bye week coming up on the other end. And then the second half of the season, you play the Broncos. You play Dallas on Thanksgiving. You play Denver on Christmas Day. This is not the worst thing that could happen in Kansas City. I think everything actually kind of worked out a whole lot.
I feel like, and I agree with you, I don't want to make light of a bad situation. So I don't want people to hear this and have it hit their ear in a way that I'm diminishing the issues. People got hurt in his car accident. I'm not trying to make light of it. But this was the best case scenario for the Chiefs. Maybe I'm using the text line as my barometer, and that's unfair. But I remember when Frank Clark got suspended, the text line was infuriated. How can this happen in the middle of the season? It's just out of nowhere. Now you lose one of your players. Willie Gay, same thing. And I'm not making light of those things, but it felt like it really just fell out of thin air one day. Boom, 6 games, see you later. Boom, 4 games, see you later. It affected continuity on the field, this, that, and the other. If you are the Chiefs or a Chiefs fan, or you are even Rashee Rice, this is the best case scenario. You get to practice every moment leading up to week 1. You will probably be suspended for week 1 and then some. But you've gone through the entire offseason program. You had the entirety of camp. You had the entirety of the preseason. It isn't just one day you get a tweet, an alert from Adam Schefter, hey, you can't go to work. You can't go to the facility for the next 6 days, for the next 6 weeks. You kind of can plan and prepare for it. So this as an on-the-field football situation is the best case scenario for the Chiefs, and me and you see it similarly. 8 would surprise me. 10, I would fall out of my chair stunned. This feels like a 2-6, and if it's 6, he appeals, and it ends up at 4. That kind of feels like what you're looking at, and in that world, you're looking at it's October 1st, and Rashee Rice is back. That's a best-case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs from an on-the-field perspective.
Text line 913-586-7965. Someone says, CDOT, nothing about this helps Kansas City. I strongly disagree. He was going to get suspended. There was no scenario, none. a single scenario in which a NFL player was going to drive 115 miles an hour on the highway. 115 miles an hour on the highway. We have video evidence of this. Get into a car accident, flee the scene of the car accident, and not get suspended. There was no scenario that was going to happen, especially when people got hurt in it. One of the people who got injured was a single mother who was leaving the Dallas Zoo with her 2 kids. There was no world in which that player wasn't going to be suspended. So if you were telling me, now I know last year he got injured, like he wasn't going to be suspended at any point last season, and now heading into the 2025 season, you feel like now you know what the suspension is going to be, and I would say best case scenario is that suspension would be between week 1 and Halloween. I don't really know if you could ask for much more if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I remember being here last year whenever Hollywood Brown showed up around Christmas time, and it was, hey, we're just happy to have Hollywood back. You're going to get 3 times the player that Hollywood back is in a much earlier period of time with a lot more time to ramp up and be ready for the postseason. We're not talking about Rashee Rice showing up 2 days before the end of the regular season and, hey, can he help you for the playoffs? No, we're talking about Rashee Rice should play somewhere between 8 to 10 games this season. I think you'll live with that if you're the Chiefs. I think you'll live with 8 to 10 games. You've shown that you don't need him to win games. You won 15 games last year, basically without him. He played for 2 games last year. You were the 1 seed in the AFC and went to the Super Bowl, and your wide receiver group, if healthy, is better than it was in week 4 of last season. So it's not ideal. I mean, ideal would have been following the traffic laws. That would have been best case scenario, driving the speed limit, having your hands at 10 and 2. That would have been the best case scenario. But once you got yourself in trouble, it could be a whole lot worse than how it ended up for the Kansas City Chiefs. A whole lot worse. I think a 6-game suspension is the most likely outcome. I think they get him with a violation of the player personal conduct policy. 6 games for Rashee Rice? Let's say I'm right. 6 games. Say I'm right. He comes back week 7 against Las Vegas. So he gets 2 games before the Buffalo game to ramp up. It's not bad. That's not bad. It's really not that bad to me. You get 2 home games, and then you go on the road November 2nd in their biggest game of the season. If I asked you right now, what's the Chiefs' biggest game of the season? Every single one of you would say on the road against Buffalo. There's a chance that he's back for that game. I don't think he gets a much longer than not an 8-game suspension. If you're telling me that this suspension avoids and it allows him to be back for the biggest game of the season for the Chiefs, I think you should be happy with that. You should take that if you were the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you take it. And you can always appeal it. Maybe you get it down shorter. Maybe it ends up being 8 games. You appeal it. You get it down to 6, and we're in the same spot that I'm talking about. You play for Vegas. You play against Washington. You play in 2 nationally televised games, and then you get ready for the biggest game of the NFL season. I think you got to count your blessings if you're a Chiefs fan. I think you got to count if you're Rashee Rice. This could have gone way worse. You could have got a much more severe penalty for what you were involved in. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Avery Johnson. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The Outlaws are coming. Get ready for the electrifying Show Me Shootout Truck and Tractor Pull Saturday, July 19th at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. 11 elite classes pulling on 2 tracks, featuring diesel pickups and semis battling it out for supremacy. Tickets starting at $20 at the gate. The Show Me Shootout Truck and Tractor Pull, July 19th at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Gates open at 4 p.m. and the action starts at 7 p.m. Check out Show Me Shootout Warrensburg, Missouri on Facebook for details.
Alex.
Hello.
We've been trying to track you down. I don't know if you've noticed that. Do you have any idea why?
Something to do with the radio thing.
Every month we're doing a giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Giveaway? What you giving away, man?
$25,000.
Alex Jackson of Pensacola, Florida is the latest winner of Give Me the Vin's Big Cash Giveaway.
Are you for real?
Every time that you sell a car to Give Me the Vin, you go into a drawing for that month. And dude, you won.
That's great, man. I'm having a baby boy in about 3 months. That's a lot of diapers, man.
Name him John Clay.
Okay.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Headed out for a summer getaway? Make your airport parking a breeze with Casey's favorite, Park and Go. All spots are covered, so your car stays cool and protected while you're soaking up the sun. Hop on a quick air-conditioned shuttle that picks you up right at your car and drops you off at the terminal. Always the best service, always the best price. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7. Fast, easy, and stress-free. Park and Go, family owned and operated, and proud to be part of your summer travel plans.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-day sidewalk sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples, like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs, $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips, just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles, just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars, 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-day sidewalk sale this week, only at Hy-Vee.
I love Hy-Vee, and I love the fact that they're always finding new ways to save me money, like lower prices in every department. And on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, July 21st, earn a 40-cent discount per gallon with every $60 in groceries you purchase. So you can stock up for the summertime fun and stack up all of those fuel savings. Seeing that number roll back at the pump is so much fun, and saving money's even better. And you can do it with gas and groceries only at Hy-Vee.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. But what if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you could sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9393 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a new problem out Blue Springs. It is a two-car crash and debris in the road. 70 eastbound at Adams Dairy Parkway. The right lane is blocked. Also in Independence, you've got 435 northbound just before front. Right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Maybe this is a sign of getting older. Maybe this is just a job. But some of the college fan rivalries and hatred that some of you have, I just don't have it in the same way. I mean, I certainly want my team to win and perform and play well, but you know, one of the cool things about this job is you get to actually talk to the people. And Rob, you remember last year we talked to Jalen Daniels a lot about his injuries and coming back and what he had to deal with. And I came away like, man, I really like Jalen Daniels. I was telling this to Travis Goff that, man, I feel bad sometimes that I dislike KU because everybody at KU is actually really nice to me. They're really nice to the show, very helpful people. Hey, you guys want Lance Leipold? Take Lance Leipold. We can basically get anybody we want over at KU except Bill Self, and I kind of get why Bill Self isn't really doing local radio. He's above that, and I'm cool with that. So today was the first time I've ever got a chance to talk to Avery Johnson. We have tried to get him for a bunch of different reasons. They just never lined up. He was a freshman. They didn't want him doing interviews. And then last year with his class schedule, it just never really lined up for him to be on the show. So I'm excited that K-State helped out and got Avery Johnson to come on the show today because I was really excited to get a chance to talk to him. I really enjoyed talking to him. He made me a fan today of Avery Johnson. I'm excited to play this for you. Our conversation with K-State's quarterback started with, what is it like to be in a video game?
It's been a lot of fun. I've played it a little bit. It was super cool last year when they first dropped it because that was my first time being able to use myself in the game, but it's been a lot of fun so far.
You know what's really cool about this game is I actually think they got your play style pretty accurate. You know, you can run it a little bit. You can throw it a little bit. You guys run the option. You guys got a very unique kind of playbook. They have your likeness down really good on there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would love to play with a pretty fast quarterback. So I've always liked to play video games with mobile quarterbacks. So I think my play style definitely fits the type of quarterback I like to play in the game with.
So let's say that you're not playing with Kansas State. Is there another team that you play with or are always running with the Wildcats?
So far, I've only played with the Wildcats, but I know when I start playing online and stuff, I might try out some other teams to see who I like to use. But so far, it's only been K-State.
Right now, we're talking to Avery Johnson. He is the quarterback for the Kansas State Wildcats. I do have one football question to ask you. I'm imagining that you had an opportunity to go to a lot of different places at the end of the season. We all know how the portal works and NIL works. What has kept you at Kansas State? What has kept you very loyal to stay there and continue to be their quarterback?
Yeah, just there's no other place I wanted to be. I love Coach Kleiman and Coach Wells, all the coaches that we have on the staff. The friendships and relationships I've made at K-State in the locker room. Those are guys that I see as my brothers, some guys I'm going to probably have in my wedding someday. And then this whole support staff, from the trainers to the strength staff, people I'm around on an everyday basis. You know, people just really care about you. People that teach you how to be a better man and not just a better football player. But ultimately all that, plus the fans, I think it's just a great spot for me to be. It's close to home. I get to see my grandpa. My grandma, people like that. Get to see my friends a lot. So it's a great spot for me.
Whenever you were growing up, because you grew up in Kansas, you know, you went to Mays, you grew up in Wichita. Was there a Wildcat that you looked up to when you were a kid?
My trainer actually trained Bryce and Arthur Brown. So those are two guys I loved watching growing up. I loved watching CK, Tyler Lockett, Jordy Nelson, guys like that. Watching Jordy Nelson highlights and stuff because he played when I was really young. So I didn't necessarily watch him as much live, but those are definitely some guys that I love to watch when I was growing up.
Right now, we're talking to Avery Johnson for a couple more minutes. He is the quarterback at Kansas State. Avery, when I was a kid, nobody recognized my car. Now, I love my car, but nobody recognized it. What is it like to drive the most recognizable car in an entire town?
So I actually switched my car a couple months ago. Just for the reason you said right there. It's the most recognizable car in the world. And, I love the support that I have in Manhattan. Any chance I get to interact with a fan or, somebody comes up and talks to me, anytime I get that opportunity, man, it's a full circle moment for me. So it's been great, but definitely had to get into something. I'm in a black Mercedes, something a little bit more discreet and not as flashy, just because I'm not a big attention guy. I don't even really like to go in public for the fact of just the attention that I get. So it's been pretty cool to have something a little bit more discreet here recently.
Yeah, see, I wasn't even going to ask you what car you had. I was going to keep that low-key because now I don't want anybody to know what you have. Just take us through the process when you determine, you know what, I don't want this purple sports car. I want something different. Like, you just go and hand over the keys, and they hand you the keys to something else. Like, take us through this process.
Yeah, I had I had a lease for that the Corvette in the season. And they pretty much just say, like, do you want to keep going with this or do you want to switch it out? And I've always been a Mercedes guy. I had a Mercedes before I got the Corvette. And I just wanted something a little bit bigger, so if I had to drive some people around, it would work. But I'm more of a car guy than a mini SUV or like a SUV or a truck, something like that. So I did some deep diving and sent him the car I wanted, and Lon MacArthur went out and searched for it and ended up finding it. But they definitely hooked me up. It's a super nice car. It's everything I could even ask for.
What is the balance in those two things? You just mentioned it a little bit. Like, I don't like the attention all the time, but you're also the starting quarterback at a Power 4 university in a very, very small campus. Like, what's that balance of you just want to be a normal 20-year-old, but in a lot of ways you're not a normal 20-year-old. You drive a black Mercedes. You're on a video game. You're going to the NFL at some point in your life. What is the balance of those two things in your everyday life?
I think just kind of just being grateful for everything, understanding that, I don't have to do this stuff. I get to do this stuff, and just kind of having that mindset. And when you look at these things through a different perspective and just realize, like, it's a different era of college football. We get to get paid, maximizing all NIL opportunities I can while I'm in college, but just being thankful and grateful that I do get NIL opportunities. I do get to play at a school like K-State, and I am somebody that gets to get recognized when I go on campus and go in public and stuff like that. Just looking at it through a different perspective definitely just opens my eyes for me, because it's never good if you're a quarterback of a university and people don't know who you are, because then you're probably not doing a very good job of winning games on Saturday. So, yeah, the attention can be kind of a lot at times, and sometimes you just want to chill and go about your day and go about your business. But I would definitely rather have it than not have it, because if I don't have it, then I'm definitely not doing something right.
Right now, we're happy to be joined by Avery Johnson joining us on the show. We talked a lot about football. We talked a lot about your life. Let's talk more about your interests. What are you into? What are you doing on a Tuesday when you don't have football, you don't have practice, and you can just be a normal kid? What is your normal day like when you have free time to do whatever you want to do?
Yeah, I like to go out on the lake. My parents stay on the lake out here in Manhattan, and we have a boat. So just going out there and chilling with my friends and teammates and stuff like that, swimming, doing stuff like that. I don't do a whole bunch of water sports or anything, because my dad doesn't let me. He just says it's a little bit too dangerous. He doesn't want me to get hurt or do something stupid out there. But usually chilling, listen to music on the boat, swim a little bit, or to be honest, other than that, I probably just spending my off day, sleeping or playing the game a little bit. Don't get out the house too much, so I just like to chill in my off time, especially in the summer.
What games are you playing? You mentioned a little bit of college football. I just got the new Nintendo Switch, so I've been playing Mario Kart a lot lately, and just that's just like my nice little, hey, I got 15 minutes to play. I'll play Mario Kart for a little bit. You say you play the game. What games are you playing?
Yeah, right now it's college football. Just because it just came out, it's fresh right now, and obviously just the excitement around it. Before that, I play some GTA with my friends, a little bit of Madden, 2K, stuff like that. I don't get around to play the game as much as I used to when I was in high school, but I still try to find as much time as I can to take my mind off football and just, chill a little bit.
Avery, speaking of Grand Theft Auto, you might be in like your third or fourth year in the league by the time we get the new Grand Theft Auto.
Man, like it's taken forever. But I think they said summer of 2026. They finally dropped a release date.
We'll see.
So we'll see. Exactly. We'll see.
Yeah, because, that game, they've changed the release date so many times at this point. I don't know when it comes out. Just tell me when I can pay for it. Tell me how much it is, and I'm ready to go.
No, literally. That's how I feel about it. It's got to be pretty futuristic, though, if it's taking this long.
I went to a Rod Wave concert. My friend had free tickets. I don't really know too many of his songs. I just agreed to go to this thing. And I'm telling you, Avery, you would have thought that, like, Whitney Houston came out there. Like, the way that these kids were singing and knowing all the songs, and I don't know any of the songs, it was like when you're, like, completely sober and everybody else around you isn't. It was just felt very out of place at this show.
Yeah, I went to his show in Dallas in January, and I did know all the songs. And I was with my friends, and all of them knew all the songs too, and it was like one of the best experiences I've ever had. I'm definitely going to have to start going to more concerts because it was a lot of fun.
Avery, who's somebody that has recognized you that you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe that? Like, I imagine just, like any community, things kind of run in a tight circle. You get to work out with this person or work out with this person. Who's somebody that knew who you are that you were like, oh, wow, you follow college football like that?
It was not that I didn't think he followed college football, but it was when I met Patrick Mahomes, and the first thing he said to me is he was like, man, you gave my Red Raiders a tough time because my freshman year I had a breakout game against Tech, and this was before the season last year, so I'd only had my freshman season on film, and it was just the fact that he knew that was crazy to me just because of, Patrick Mahomes being who he is.
A couple more questions here for Avery Johnson. Do you kind of compare yourself to the guys that you were in Elite 11 with? Like, that's a really prestigious honor. You guys are all around the same age. You guys all go to major universities. You're all super competitive. Do you keep up with those guys? Are you kind of comparing your career against how theirs is going?
Yeah, I keep up with those guys, but as far as the comparison thing, I think, everybody's development's different. Everybody's situation's different. It's hard to compare my success to their success. And, you hear it all the time, comparison is the thief of joy, so try not to get caught up in how good my season's going and how good their season's going. Just trying to just win football games on Saturday, I feel like, is what's in my best interest right now.
Last thing here. Give me one restaurant in Manhattan that you really love. It can be the most popular restaurant in town. It could be a place that's a little bit off the beaten path, because I went to a basketball game this past year, and I had a fantastic time. It was great, but I didn't really know where to eat, so I ended up going to Wingstop. Nothing wrong with Wingstop, but I wanted a more local flavor. Can you suggest a couple of Manhattan restaurants that if somebody's going there for a football game or a basketball game, they got to eat at one of these places?
Yeah, I can give you a couple, and Wingstop is definitely one of my go-tos. But I would say if you're going to eat breakfast, a place called Bourbon and Baker is one of my favorite places to eat breakfast. You have to get the chicken and waffles. It's the best chicken and waffles I've ever had. They put like hot sauce kind of with the syrup, and like the sweet and savory. It's fire. You have to try it. For lunch you could try So Long Saloon. They have this like blackberry bean dip, which doesn't sound good at all, but once you try it, it's like it's like the best cheese dip I think I've ever had. And then Tap House a dinner spot, or if you wanted to go for lunch, that place is really good too. They have, I can't remember the flavor of wings. They have 2 flavored wings. I think they just have buffalo and then like maybe it's like an Asian zing, or I can't really remember what type of wing it is, but they are some of the best wings I've had too in Manhattan. Super crispy wings. They're maybe they're Korean fried wings, but they're super good too. So those are 3 spots I'd tell you have to try out.
That is Avery Johnson joining us on the show today. He's the starting quarterback at Kansas State University. They're looking to win the Big 12 and make the college football playoff this year. Avery, man, I'm finally happy that we could get this thing going. I'm happy that we could have you on the show, man. We look forward to having you this season, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic year, man. Good luck this season.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That was Avery Johnson joining us on the show today for his first appearance. Rob, are you rooting for Avery Johnson? I'm rooting for Avery Johnson. I want to see him do well. I hope he puts up a great season. I hope he's first team all Big 12. I hope K-State wins the Big 12 and makes the college football playoff. Do you agree?
There will be certain games this year I'd like to see Avery Johnson do well. There will be other games where I will be cheering for his demise. I mean, that's the name of the game.
What other games? They only play your team one time. Are there certain games what you're cheering for him against what other team?
Probably just the one game really stands out. Cheering against him.
I'm cheering for him. I want to see him do well, man. I want to see him win. I want to see him have great success. I want to see Jalen Daniels play really well in every game but one. He can play well those other games. Doesn't matter to me. Go out there, ball out this year. I hope Jalen Daniels is the #1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft in every game except one.
The K-State one, but
no, not that one. No, not that one. No, not that one. That's not the one I was talking about, my friend. Not at all. That's not the one.
You'd like to see him struggle versus Wagner? I get it. That makes sense to me, too.
September 6th, I would like to see him play very poorly, actually. I'd be very happy if he played poorly in that game. The other games, you can do whatever. That's fine. I'm not here to root against. One thing I realized is we're getting closer to 40, and some of you are older than that. Man, I don't have it in me to root against 19 and 20-year-olds. I really don't. I don't have it in me. Hey, good luck. I hope things go well for you. I hope you go to the league. I hope you ball out. I hope you put up good numbers. I'm not here in the business of rooting against those kids. I want to see them do well. I really enjoy talking to Avery Johnson, man. Special thanks to K-State for making that happen. I hope he has a fantastic year. The second top story, actually right now, it has been moved down. The #1 story is a new contract for Damian Lillard. Don't know if you've seen this. 3 years, $42 million for him to go back to Portland. Good for him. Just comfortable. It's where you spent a lot of time in your career. You want to finish out your career in Portland. I know you had a chance to maybe join some contending teams, but hey, the heart wants what it wants. If you want to go finish out your career in Portland and get that send-off, hey, I ain't mad at you. And they certainly are paying you a lot of money to go out there and do it. The second story right now in the National Football League is T.J. Watt. He is the highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. It's a big-time contract that he got. I mean, he got some big-time money. The third biggest story is right here. It's a local story. Chiefs star Rashee Rice sentenced to 30 days of jail time. That is the headline right now on ESPN. We'll play what Adam Schefter had to say coming up in just a little bit. We've been talking about just the news in general. I don't think the Chiefs should make a move. I think the Chiefs are fine where they are. If you look at the Chiefs' depth chart, and let's say that Rashee Rice is out for the first 6 games of the season. Let's just pick a nice round number. Let's say Rashee Rice is out for the first 6 games. I think you've got enough at wide receiver, running back, and tight end to certainly get you through the first portion of your season. With Xavier Worthy in year 2, Hollywood Brown in the second year of the offense, a veteran player, Juju Smith-Schuster, who, this is 4th year on the team. If you add up the 2 times, 3rd year, 4th year, certainly knows the offense. You got Jalen Royals as your 4th, 5th option. I know it sounds crazy, but Sky Moore is your 4th, 5th option, a guy who should know the system, a guy who should be anxious to go out there and try to prove it this year. You still got Travis Kelce. You got Noah Gray. You got a healthy Isaiah Pacheco, a healthy Kareem Hunt, should be an improved offensive line. I don't think the Chiefs need to go out there and do anything drastic if we are talking about wide receiver. Now, could I see them going out and making some move to get another body that they're familiar with? Sure. But everything about the Chiefs has been about continuity and kind of keeping things together and bringing back familiar faces. They brought back Charles Omenihu. They brought back Juju Smith-Schuster. They brought back Hollywood Brown. Everything about the Chiefs has kind of been a run-it-back kind of feel, very similar to 2020. they haven't really dipped outside the family, so to speak. So I would just be a little bit surprised if the Chiefs went out and made what would seem like a splash move for a player who's not a splash player. I would be a little bit surprised if that was the case, and I just don't think they need that kind of player. You're not getting an impact wide receiver in the middle of July right before camp. I mean, not unless you're willing to make a trade. I don't think they're making a trade to fulfill this. I think they got enough. If you got a healthy Worthy, a healthy Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Kelsey, Noah Gray, and Isaiah Pacheco is back, you certainly got enough offensively to make it through the first third of your season without Rashee Rice. So, Rob, I don't really expect them to make a decent move. I also really don't think that they need to make a move. I think they're fine with what they have.
See, this is the epitome of nitpicking, but it is what it is. I think they will make a move at the end of training camp. I think it'll be August 28th, and we'll get the breaking news sounder. The Chiefs have added someone that was a surprise cut from their team that either has a connection with the Chiefs or some variation of the Chiefs offense. Maybe he worked with Doug Peterson in Jacksonville. There will be some player who has some familiarity with the system. I think the Chiefs bring in at the end of the preseason. It will be one that we talk about because the NFL season is on the horizon. But I agree with you. Keenan Allen would surprise me. Who else is available? Mari Cooper would surprise me. I think they're going to make a small move. I think the Chiefs always think to themselves, you'd rather have more than less. And I expect that you get a McCole Hardman maybe surprise cut type come end of August. But I don't think we're ever going to be like, wow, can you believe they added blank? I think it's going to be very much a move in the margins. But I do think they will make some sort of addition before the Chiefs head to Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm surprised. I get it. People want Keenan Allen. He's a name. It's somebody that you know. I am surprised that right now that's the big name on the text line. Go get Keenan Allen. I feel like we should be asking a question. Why is a receiver last year that had 744 yards and 7 touchdowns, why is that player available in the middle of July? In theory, that player is usually signed by now. I feel like there's some journalistic questions here. The who, what, when, where, and why. Why is a last year very productive wide receiver, 700 yards on a team that couldn't block last year, rookie quarterback, why is that guy available in the middle of the summer? Usually that is a player that is signed back in March when all the other players get signed. It's usually not a good thing even Aaron Rodgers signed in June for mandatory minicamp. Even Rodgers is on a team by now. I would love to hear an answer of why Keenan Allen is available toward the end of summer and his training camp gets going. The Chiefs start training camp next week. Why is Keenan Allen still available if he's a productive wide receiver in the league? Something about it just feels off to me. I'm not super interested in Keenan Allen. I don't know if Keenan Allen can play. I think the league is telling you that. I think the league is telling you there's a reason why every team up to this point has said no. Now, I imagine at some point he signs with the team, but if you're in a position where you need injuries to happen or you need things to happen for you to sign on to a roster, I'm just not really sure how much that guy can help you, especially in the limited sample that I think the Chiefs would need him to. You got to come in, you got to learn the system, you got to learn the scheme, you got to learn that for you to be a potential break in case of emergency. I'm just not really sure if the juice is worth the squeeze. We can take you guys' thoughts on this. We'll get back to the top story of the day. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, we want you to feel like a kid in a candy store. All of our diamonds are in stock, in-store and online, so you get to use your eyes, not your imagination. Come in and look at marquee-shaped diamonds right next to ovals and pears. As your friend and jeweler, you can trust you'll get your dream diamond at an everyday competitive price. We have the widest selection in-store and at shaneco.com, because a friend knows choosing a diamond is personal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Other Place with 5 great Kansas City locations: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Stop by this summer and enjoy their beautiful patios, all while listening to some live music at most locations Thursday through Saturdays. And on game day, they have enough big screens that you'll never miss a minute of the action, all while enjoying some great food and beer specials. So make The Other Place your summer headquarters. The Other Place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Check out theotherplace.com.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Hi, it's Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer and see the Chiefs up close. Make the trip to St. Joe's something for you and your family to remember. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. It's where the Pony Express started and Jesse James ended. That's stjomo.com for all the details to make your trip. Chiefs Training Camp in St. Joseph, Missouri will be one you'll never forget. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
Stuck isn't a career plan. Centric can help you get moving on that dream career fast, because you can start a new career in IT in as little as 4 months. Don't just take it from us. How about a recent graduate through the Centric IT career program? Prince said, "This isn't just the end of a program. It's the beginning of a new path built on everything I've learned and experienced with all of you." They can help you find that new career at Centric.com. Reach out to our guy, Russ Mondry, and find out what Centric can do for you. That's, again, Centric.com.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman. Only in theaters July 11th. DQ. Happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Had a crash in Blue Springs affecting both directions of 70. The wreck is 70 eastbound just past Little Blue Parkway, and it is affecting westbound 70 as well. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Be sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Right now, we're talking about the possibility of the Chiefs going out and possibly picking up a free agent wide receiver. I mean, there's a couple of names that you would know. I mean, you certainly know who Amari Cooper is. He's available right now. You know who Keenan Allen is. He's available right now. I would say the next available name at wide receiver is Gabe Davis. I mean, that's probably the list. I'm going back and forth with somebody on the text line. Going back and forth makes it sound kind of extreme. So he put out, veterans like Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper are usually on the market because they're waiting for a team that gives them a chance to win. It's not that difficult to figure out. Veterans don't like training camp. If I'm Amari Cooper, I don't know if Amari Cooper is in a position where he can really dictate terms. Amari Cooper had less than 600 yards receiving last year. Amari Cooper got traded for a decent draft pick to go join the Buffalo Bills and had 297 yards. I don't know if Amari Cooper is just sitting at home right now saying, hey, I'm only going to play for the Chiefs and the Ravens. No. Football's about to start next week and you don't have a job. Now, I'm not saying you won't get a job, but usually you are available in July because something has gone wrong. Think about the guy. Deontay Johnson has a job right now. Deontay Johnson played for 3 teams last year. He has found work. McCole Hardman, who hasn't really been healthy for the last 2 years, he is on a team right now. So I'm not saying you can't find a job. Kareem Hunt last year was unemployed. An injury happened. He ended up finding the right team in the right situation. We all know that that's the case. But let's take somebody like Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis signed a big contract. Gabe Davis got cut after 1 year for that deal. You can go get Gabe Davis if you want. Gabe Davis this is his 5th year in the league. He had 20 catches for 239 yards last year. I don't think Gabe Davis is unemployed by choice. I think Gabe Davis is unemployed because the league ain't really feeling you right now and they've moved on. So again, I'm not saying that Keenan Allen won't find a team. He probably will be on a team. But I think we do have to ask ourselves, a 33-year-old wide receiver who has had injury concerns in his past, why is he available in the middle of the summer when training camp starts next week? It ain't because the league thinks that there's some 1,000-yard receiver that's there that they can get for the cheap. This is the time that you can get players for next to nothing. Your salary cap is locked in. You can go pick them up. You don't need to trade them. So I think Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper are kind of waiting for an injury. I think they're like what happened with Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt might have still been waiting on the sideline if Isaiah Pacheco hadn't gotten hurt. He could have gone to any team in the league. They weren't really interested. He then went to the team that knew him best, could vet him, and then he ended up joining that situation. So my only point on this, if the Chiefs go out and get Gabe Davis, I'm not going to be mad at it. It's Gabe Davis, whatever. But my point is, if you're thinking that it's just going to be plug and play for these kind of guys, that saying, if a deal is too good to be true, it usually is. If Keenan Allen is available in July for you to go pick up, there's a reason why he's available. It ain't just because Keenan Allen it's not because Baltimore hit Keenan Allen up and he was like, you know what, I don't know if I want to play for you. I'm waiting for the Chiefs to call. I think he either hasn't been getting calls of late or the league is just kind of like, hey, we know his medicals. We know what's something that's going on, and that's why we just haven't touched him right now.
Also, with how serious the Chiefs take, and maybe this is me, and you've heard it as many times as I have, Mitch Holthus just bangs this into your head. Minicamp, OTAs, all these things, Andy Reid and the Chiefs take very seriously. Not that other teams don't, but they treat it more seriously than the average team. When was the last time one of these veterans who doesn't like camp and all those things was signed by the Chiefs? I mean, Kareem Hunt maybe last year, but they were in dire situations at running back. When was the last time it was July 25th when camp is going and a veteran that people know the name of was just sitting around, the Chiefs went, you know what? We've played some practices, and you know what? Now's the time we're going to pull the trigger. The Chiefs are not usually the team to do that. Maybe I'm forgetting some move, but they're not the, hey, camp has started, you've missed the entire offseason program, you're 32, welcome aboard. That's not usually how they get down in the offseason.
Yeah, I would say that most of the guys that are available, like I pulled it up right now on USA Today, the 10 best available free agents available right now. And you've heard of most of these guys. So this actually just came out earlier today. So this is actually really relevant new information. I mean, it's guys that you've heard of that are just on the back half of their career that you're hoping to come in and just give you a little bit of something. Or guys that are usually in this situation. A guy like Clowney is on this list. Jadeveon Clowney. We all know who Jadeveon Clowney is at this point. He's been in the league long enough. I think you just kind of know what Jadeveon Clowney is. So I do think Clowney is one of those guys, but he's also kind of been this way in his career. He waits and waits and waits. He ends up signing a one-year deal as a pass rusher. He ends up being okay. He then does the exact same thing next year, and he continues going on. Gilmore. So Gilmore, the corner, that was on the Patriots.
Stephon Gilmore.
This would be his sixth team in 6 seasons. Gabe Davis signed a contract with Jacksonville, played 1 year on that contract, got released. Zadarius Smith, another guy who was just always available. So I'm not saying that Keenan Allen can't come in and can't help you in any capacity. I just want to be realistic about what you would potentially be getting with Keenan Allen, and I'm honestly not sure if that's better than what you already have. I don't know if Keenan Allen at this point is better than Hollywood Brown or Xavier Worthy. I'm not sure if he's better than any of those guys. I think he is an upgrade over Juju Smith-Schuster at best. But Juju also knows the system, also is willing to play a role, also willing to be a willing blocker. Are you willing to block Jalen Royals for the first potential 6 to 8 weeks of the season for 33-year-old Keenan Allen, who will be on the team for 1 season? I think there's a lot of things to kind of factor in here, or bring in Amari Cooper, I think Amari Cooper just might honestly be cooked. He was on Buffalo. They got rid of him. They then moved him to another team that you would have thought, hey, Buffalo desperately needs a wide receiver. Like, they didn't have a number 1 wide receiver. Remember, Kansas City was a team that was really interested in Amari Cooper. He maybe ended up being too rich for your blood. He then ends up going to Buffalo. You're like, okay, maybe he's the guy that can help them get over the hump. He had 300 yards receiving and is now sitting here unemployed. I tell you guys all the time, your window, things change. Like, oh, man, that guy's got 3 years left. No, that guy maybe has like 18 months left in his career. And it looks like that could potentially be Amari Cooper. We'll see where he lands. We'll keep talking about this. We now have the answer for Rashee Rice. We at least have the criminal side of it. We'll continue to talk about it. Keep it right here. So drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Had a crash in Blue Springs affecting both directions of 70. The wreck is 70 eastbound just past Little Blue Parkway, and it is affecting westbound 70 as well. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Ring the bell! We've done it again! Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct, and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
Missouri sports fans, I got great news for you. Underdog is now available to play in your state, and you can go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. As we get ready to roll into the 4th of July holiday, the baseball action is heating up, and Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, total bases, and so much more. And once that entry feels good, You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Maybe it's time for Vinny Pasquantino to start heating up, and you love the over on his total bases this weekend. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code Bob to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code Bob. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Ready for a summer getaway? Start it off right with Park & Go, KC's premier airport parking destination. Open 24/7 with all covered spots to beat the summer heat. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
We're going to draw one name of a person that sold their car to GiveMeTheVin.com and give them $25,000.
Wow. Give Me the Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
Could you imagine being that person? Wouldn't that feel great?
That would be awesome.
Well, honey, you won.
Oh my God. Heather Krager of Dallas, Texas won $25,000 and Give Me the Vin's big cash giveaway. That's so cool. You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more. I guess that old Mercedes was worth more than I thought. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the best 5G in Kansas City and be the best you. Check where your ride is for your trip into the office. Get that almost impossible dinner reservation and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Rankings based on root metrics root score report dated 2H 2024. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts, all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. I don't want to spend the entire 5 o'clock hour talking about Keenan Allen. I do want to talk about Rashee Rice and the possibility of going to get Keenan Allen. I just want to answer this one text. We were talking about it. Now with the Rashee Rice news, and if you missed it, I'll explain it more here coming up in just a bit. But would I like to see the Chiefs go out and make a move? My answer is no. I think they're fine with what they have. I think they're fine. We got this text. C-Dot, are you willing to bet that Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, that one of these guys gets hurt while Rice is suspended? I'd go get Keenan Allen. I'd just like to point out two things, and then we'll move on. Two of these guys you had a chance to move on from this offseason, and you made the decision to bring them back knowing their injury history. Hollywood Brown was a free agent. The Chiefs wanted to bring him back. Juju was a free agent. The Chiefs also wanted to bring him back, knowing his injury history. And are we making the argument that because they don't have Rashee Rice and they're worried about injuries, that the solution to that is Keenan Allen, who for over a decade you guys have made fun of for always being hurt? I mean, you guys call me Chargers dot. I'm listening to this. Oh, the Chargers are always hurt. You want to know who was one of the people who was always hurt? Keenan Allen's one of those individuals. Like, again, there's a reason why I think Keenan Allen is just available at this point in the season. He was good last year. He had a really productive season. 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. It just seems funny to me that he would be available at this point in the season. You would just think that one contending team, you've had a lot of time to go get him. There's a whole free agency period where teams were locking up players. If the Chiefs really wanted Keenan Allen, he's been available this entire time. Now, you just became a free agent. You were available in March when the Chiefs were signing free agent wide receivers. Why didn't they go get Keenan Allen then? When Baltimore was looking to go get a wide receiver, they chose DeAndre Hopkins over Keenan Allen. Green Bay desperately needed a wide receiver. They went to go get McCole Hardman this year. Why is a guy who was that productive last year, why is he available? Let's talk about Rashee Rice. I don't want to spend the whole time arguing about Keenan Allen. I can't believe I'm on the side of no to the Charger and the text line is on the side of go get the Charger. It's been a very bizarre week. This is on ESPN. I just want to read it for you. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice was sentenced to 30 days of jail and 5 years probation Thursday for his role in a multi-car crash last year, according to a release from the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. Rice pleaded guilty in district court to 2 third-degree felony charges, collision involving serious bodily injury, and racing on a highway causing bodily injury. A district court judge ruled that Rice can serve the jail time at any point during this 5-year probationary period. He also received deferred adjudication. So this case will be dismissed if he completes the probation. It also is important to note that before his plea agreement, Rice has also paid over $115,000 in restitution to the victims of this car crash that happened back in March. There's more quotes, but you guys know the bulk of what happened. I'm not saying this to make light of the situation because the situation is very serious. A lot of really bad things could have happened as a result of this car accident. I don't think this is the worst thing for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you are a team that is playing deep into the season and you're also talking about a player who was coming off a significant knee injury that caused you to miss basically 90% of last season, having a suspension that you believe is going to affect you for the first half of the year and allows you the opportunity to ramp up as you get closer to the postseason is not a bad thing. This is a team that added Hollywood Brown around Christmas time and had him playing in the postseason. Let's say that Rashee Rice gets suspended for the first 8 games of the season. That puts him back November 1st. That gives you all of November, all of December to get ready, get healthy, and then be able to help this team in January and possibly in February. In terms of the timing, I don't think it's that bad for Kansas City, especially when you are going to have to rip that Band-Aid off eventually. Maybe you operated with the belief that the suspension was going to be next year. There really is no ideal time to not have your number one wide receiver. But if you're telling me I could pick when that could be, then I would pick the first half of the season, especially if you're a team that you're not worried about you need him to make the playoffs. There are some teams that, if you're Atlanta, for example, and you don't have Drake London for the first 8 games of the season, I don't know if you make the postseason. Or if you're Tampa Bay with Mike Evans, we can go through the teams. There's some teams that if you're the Jets, you desperately need Garrett Wilson to be competitive this year. The Chiefs don't need Rashee Rice to win their division. They don't need him to make the playoffs. They don't need him to win the Super Bowl. So if you're telling me that you can make do without that player for the first possibly 2 months of the season at the absolute most, get that player back for the second half of the season, and then you're ready to go, I don't think that's a really, really bad proposition if you're Kansas City. I want to read a couple of tweets to you guys. This is Matt Derrick. I think he does fantastic work. He tweets out, I have been told by sources in the organization that the Chiefs believe Rashee Rice may get a suspension of 2 to 4 games. Whether that's optimistic, I can't tell you for sure. Jonathan Jones, who covers the NFL for CBS, he believes that the range is between 5 to 7 games. So the moral of this story is nobody knows. The range is somewhere between 2 to 8, I would say. Somewhere between 2 to 8. I don't know. Could be 2 games, could be 4 games, could be 6 games. None of us know. If you were telling me that the worst possible outcome is 8 games, that means he plays in the Buffalo game. If you're telling me that it's a 2-game suspension, great. Then he's back for the game against Baltimore. You could have Rashee Rice for the 2 most important games that you have this season. The 2 most important games that they have is a home game against Buffalo and a road game against Baltimore. So if it's a 2-game suspension, then he's back for that game. If it's a 4-game suspension, he just misses the September games. The September games are not that big of a deal if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. I can give you 7 years of data to suggest that they'll be fine in the first month of the season. Again, I'm not here to make light of the car crash. A very, very serious ordeal that could have been a lot worse. I'm talking about it from a football perspective. If you were telling me that the worst possible outcome now for Rashee Rice is that he comes back for November, I think you are in a good spot if you're Kansas City.
I think, and again, I agree with you 1,000%. When I say this, I don't want people to hear that I'm calling a car accident that a person got hurt in the best case scenario. But from a purely on the field perspective, for the Kansas City Chiefs and Rashee Rice, this is the best case scenario. Because I hear all the time when the Chiefs have had issues like this, fans get frustrated. They also subscribe to conspiracy theories, but they get frustrated when a Frank Clark gets suspended in the middle of the season, when Willie Gay gets suspended in the middle of the season. There is a frustration from the fan base that, oh, this just came out of nowhere, and now they're just taking away our player for 4 to 6 games. They then subscribe to conspiracy theories. It's some sort of elaborate plan to hurt the Chiefs, but that's neither here nor there. If you are going to miss games, you would prefer it be where you can sandwich it with tons of practice up to it, a stop, and then you can return at week 6, week 4, week 3, whenever, and jump right back in because you've been a part of the offseason program and it's not a start-stop. It's more clean than that, for lack of a better term. So I'm sure if when this all happened, if you were to say to Brett Veach or Rashee Rice or Andy Reid or Matt Nagy or Patrick Mahomes, whoever, hey, it's going to be a suspension. It's going to be in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's going to result in probably 4 to 6 games, maybe less. It's going to happen at the very beginning of the season. I think considering the video we saw and the crime that was committed, they would all take that from an on-the-field perspective. So it's not ideal that one of your players is going to miss games for off-the-field issues, but if you're going to have them miss games, this is kind of the way you'd like to see it go down.
Yeah, and the not ideal part, you just don't have any control over that once that player gets in trouble. Like the not ideal part would be following the traffic laws, driving the speed limit. That would be ideal, not putting yourself in the situation. But now you're here. I mean, if I'm the Chiefs and we now have this information on July 17th, and we have this information before we have even started packing to go to St. Joe, I think a realistic expectation to go to the National Football League is, can we have this concluded by the time that training camp is over and we are getting ready for the season? Even if they announce this on the Tuesday before you go to Brazil, fine. We want to know who we have to kick off the season, and we don't want to be surprised by this. Hey, we're going to tell Rashee to fly up to New York, sit down, answer all of your questions, talk to his lawyer. We're going to do everything that we can to help in this investigation so you guys have all the information that you need before you make a ruling. I don't think that that's an unrealistic request from the Kansas City Chiefs. I really don't. We are willing to help. We want to get this thing resolved. We want to move forward. He has been contrite. He has helped pay for this thing. He is in counseling. Whatever you think you need to do to move on from this, I think that's what you need to do if you're Kansas City. I think that's what you need to do. But asking that this can be resolved in the next 40 days, I think that's a fair request if you are not just the Chiefs, but any team in the National Football League. You now have all of the information. Let's see what happens. Someone on the text line says, CDOT, I'm more excited because I think this will help them keep him long term. with this incident, his salary will have to go down, wouldn't you think? I don't know. I don't say that not to answer the question. I mean, Rashee Rice has never had 1,000 yards. So, I mean, that obviously matters. He was hurt last year, so that also factors in. And we still got some time to do it. Like, if I'm Rashee Rice, I'm not really jumping in to sign a new deal anyway. Hey, let me kind of prove it for a little bit. I mean, you got to this year, so we don't know what your time's going to be. Maybe you only play in 7 games this year. Kind of hard to put up big numbers if you don't play in a lot of games. So I just think we're a couple of years away from having that conversation about Rashee Rice anyway. If Rice goes out there, balls out in 2-3 years, you kind of shake off some of that value. I mean, we've seen multiple teams give Tyreek Hill a lot of money, and he's had serious off-the-field questions. So I don't know if I can tell you right now that this helps or hurts when it comes to the contract. We still got a lot of way to go when it comes to Rashee Rice and what that financially looks like for him. Let's go to the phone lines right now. Be joined by Matt Verderam. He's with Sports Illustrated. We'll get his thoughts on the top story. As Rashee Rice, at least he has received his punishment, his penalty from the court system. Matt, how you doing today, my man?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. We haven't talked to you in a while, man. Happy to have you join us today. If we were talking about this from a legal perspective, I don't know if you can be that upset about this if you're Rashee Rice. You got probation. You got 30 days in jail that you have 5 years to be able to figure that out. I think this is a rather light sentence when you think about what actually happened.
I mean, listen, that thing goes a different way, and it easily could have. He could be serving 30 years in jail, not 30 days. So he should be thrilled to death. Look, he deserves to go to jail. He deserves to have to serve 30 days. And, whenever he does it. But, he's got a lot of probation. He should have a lot of probation. He did something that was unbelievably short-sighted, to be kind, and then fled the scene. I mean, it's about as ill-advised as it gets. But yeah, in the end, in terms of like what the sentencing was, he's very fortunate. It could have been. I mean, he was facing 8 felony counts. It could have been a lot worse than what he ended up with.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's kind of how I feel about this too. And then I think from the Chiefs' perspective, you're looking at it from a football perspective. I think it's good that this is resolved and the time frame that we're talking about. Let's say that this suspension happens before the season. We're talking about some range, and I know this is a wide range, but it's the National Football League. Who knows what's going to happen? The answer is probably somewhere between 2 to 8. I would be stunned if he got more than 8 games. I'd be very surprised if he got no games or 1 or 0 games. So the number is probably somewhere in the middle. If you had to ask me today to lock in a number, I would guess 6 games. That's kind of what we've seen as like a standard violation of personal conduct policy. I would say that Rice gets 6 games, and it could possibly be an appeal to get it down to 4.
I agree. That's where I'm at. I think, look, here's a couple things that will help him in terms of how the NFL is going to look at him. He's a first-time offender. It's not like he's been suspended before by the league. This is not something as bad as it was. It was not a premeditated act. It was not an act of domestic violence. Those things help him. Now, what hurts him is this was on video, which is always a big problem because the more people see it, the more it typically ends up being hammered down by the NFL. And also, look, this is a very high-profile thing. He is on a team that has gone to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. It's been in the news. So I would agree with you. I think it's probably going to be 6. If it was 4, it wouldn't shock me. I would be surprised if it was 2. I got to be honest, I'd be surprised if it was 8. I think it's probably there. And listen, the upside of it is for the Chiefs, the suspension's early in the year. You get it out of the way and you move forward. The downside if you're the Chiefs is the hardest part of your schedule is your earliest part of your schedule. So that is where it does things.
Yeah, that part, and I'm with you. Like, that is probably where the strength of the schedule is. You play Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Detroit in the first 6 games. But for a team that is so much more about the cold months than the early months, if you're telling me right now it is a 6-game suspension, I think you take that. You would then have Rashee Rice back for the Vegas game, back for the Washington game, so back-to-back home games, and then you give him a ramp-up time before you go on the road against Buffalo. A 6-game suspension for Rashee Rice is not that bad, all things considered.
Honestly, if you got the Chiefs in a really quiet moment and said, look, it's never going to get out. How do you feel if he gets suspended for 6 games? they'd be like, look, man, go 4-2. Looking at the rest of that schedule, might win 13 games. Like, that's how they would – I mean, they, of course, will never come out and say that. But they'll look at it like if he's out the first 6 games, even without him, there is no excuse to lose, in my opinion, to the Chargers, who I'm not very high on, the Jaguars, and the Giants. And even if you just won one of the other 3 games, which, by the way, yeah, it's the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Lions are all at home. If you win one of those games, you walk out. The rest of the schedule is not daunting. It's the Cowboys, it's the AFC South, it's the Raiders twice, it's the Chargers at home, it's Denver. Like, they could roll going. But even Washington, like, I think Washington's good, but they should win that game at home, especially if Rice is there. So, like, you know, if you're the Chiefs, if you get out of that first 6 games 4-2, you're not panicked. You're sitting there going, all right, fine, we're in great shape.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated here, going through the story that Rashee Rice has now at least faced the legal side of all of this. He has gotten 5 years probation. He can do 30 days in jail, and it sounds like he has 5 years to serve that period. Let me ask you this, Matt. This is, I don't know if this is a serious, non-serious question. Let's say the judge comes to you and says that you got to do 30 days, but you got 5 years to do it. How exactly are you serving your 30 days? Are you just going to go ahead and knock out 1 month? Are you going to pick a weekend here and a weekend there? How are you knocking out 30 days?
I mean, this is just how I operate. I'd go now. I'm going right now. Let's do this. 30 days, done. Like, I wouldn't want to hang it over my head. Like, I wouldn't want to have to constantly sit there and go, I got 27 days left. I've got 21 days left. Now, you know, for him, that's a little practical because he's got to go to training camp and all the rest of it. But for me, like, if the judge came to me and said 30 days, Illinois State Penitentiary, I mean, I think, first of all, it sucks. Second of all, okay, I'm going to go now because I'm not looking to have, like, every other weekend be me in the lockup.
This is how I would handle it. I would just do 1 week a year for the next 4 years, and then I'll just sprinkle in 2 days. Like, if you're telling me that I know every February, that last week of February, all right, I just got to go to jail. There's not usually a lot happening. Valentine's Day is over. It's not really warm yet. It's the very beginning of my off season. There's no football things going on. That's how I would handle it if I'm Rashee Rice. I just pick the final week in February.
You just go around the weather and the sports calendar.
Yeah, that's how I would do it, because this is how I would think about it if I'm Rashee Rice. You know, when I'm not volunteering to go to jail in June, this is my off season and it's fun. It's warm outside. Everybody's outside. They're having fun. And I'm in jail during this time. No, I'm going to jail early March. I'm not going to jail when it's a lot going on.
It's a good point. I didn't really think about it. That's fair. Yeah, February seems like a great, like that would be the, like, all right, I'm not missing anything, right? Like, I'll get out in time for March Madness. It'd be great. You know, get out in time for the weather's starting to get nice. Yeah, like, that is true. If you're looking at it from that perspective, yeah, February seems to be the time that you did like a mass influx of inmates. People are like, all right, I'm turning myself in. I can't take February anymore.
Because then Rob said that he would just do weekends. I can't imagine for, 10 straight weeks. You're telling me I go to work and then every Friday when I check out of work, prison. I just go to prison for the weekend for 10 straight weeks? That sounds awful.
That I couldn't do. Like, I would do it in one. No matter how I did it, I'd do it in one shot. I would just be like, all right, let's just, get this done, But, I mean, either way, I got to tell you, we're sitting here and I think correctly saying, like, he should be thankful for what ended up kind of transpiring here in terms of the sentence. It still sucks. You still got to go to jail for 30 days. That's not nothing. And, look, the bottom line is for the kid, you hope that, like, he grows up. And that this is the ultimate wake-up call because, listen, it was bad and people got injured and he's paying for some of that as well financially in this deal. This could have been a lot worse. I mean, he could have very easily killed somebody, killed multiple people. He really should use this as a wake-up call for the rest of his life.
Right now, we're talking to Matt Verderame for a couple more minutes here about the news regarding Rashee Rice. Matt, could you see the Chiefs picking up a wide receiver in the meantime? An Amari Cooper, a Keenan Allen, a Gabe Davis? Could you see them picking up a wide receiver, or do you think they're fine with what they have until we get a more clarity on what's going to happen?
If it's 6 games or less, I'd kind of lean toward just saying, look, I think they'll just figure it out. Like, I know nobody's overly excited to hear that, like, Juju's there and they can just put him in the slot. But they internally will go, well, he knows the offense. Mahomes trusts him, and he can block in the run game, and he can play inside and all that stuff. Then you have Royals, who is a rookie, and typically speaking, even with high-profile rookies like we've seen with Rice and we've seen with Worthy and even Tyreek Hill way back when, they don't typically play those guys early on in the year. So I would think it's going to be a lot of Juju and a lot of Hollywood, and of course, we're going to see a lot of Worthy. But the danger becomes if one of those guys gets hurt, and let's be real, Juju Smith-Schuster, that is a serious health risk. Hollywood's got injury history behind him. Worthy is not a big guy. If anybody gets hurt, then what? Now you've got a real problem. If I was going to sign anybody, I'd sign Keenan Allen. To me, say whatever you want about him. He still put up over 750 yards last year, 70 receptions. He's a slot guy. He's a great route runner. I feel like he's the kind of guy who they could just pick him up and he could just immediately go in there and have 7 catches a game while Rice is out. But, look, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to Scott State this thing for a month or so.
Matt, can you explain to me why Keenan Allen is still available? You and I do the say it out loud test. It is the middle of July, and a receiver last year who had 700 yards, who's a former All-Pro, is just sitting there available. Has he been picky? Is there an injury history concern? Why is he available at this point in the season? This is usually not when you're still looking for a job.
No, it's not. I think it's a couple things. He's 33, and so I think that's part of the problem. He's 33 years old. I think a lot of teams look at him and go, okay, you know what? He was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago. Last year he solid, but not anywhere near what he was the year prior. And so, will he continue to just backslide and be a guy who was 500 yards this year? I'm with you. Gabe Davis, I understand why he's a free agent. He's not good. He's just not a good player. I understand why he's a free agent. Amari Cooper last year was dreadful. The Bills went out and got him. He was awful for Buffalo. So I understand that side of it. Allen is somebody who, again, if I'm the Chiefs, if they want to go get somebody, they're sitting there going, hey, all right, Juju's a health risk, and we don't want to play Royals yet. Keenan Allen's the kind of guy, I got to tell you, they could put him in the slot and go, hey, Keenan, we're going to have you run a whip route 9 times a game and just throw it to you. Okay, and if you're him, you don't want to go play the Chargers week 1? You don't want to get with Mahomes and have a shot at a that is, to me, of all of the potential fit, that would be obvious.
That is my guy, Matt Verderam, joining us on the show today for the news that Rashee Rice, we now have the information. He has been sentenced to 30 days in jail with 5 years probation, and we'll see how this plays itself out when it comes to the NFL and what happens with Roger Goodell. Matt, great stuff, man. I love catching up with you, man. I imagine we'll do this a lot more now that football's right around the corner.
Absolutely, Carrington. Take care.
Absolutely. That is Matt Verderam joining us on the show. Always great catching up with him. We'll continue to talk about our top story. We also have celebrated K-State Day here on The Drive. We'll continue to do that. Keep it right here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. Summer is officially here, and that means the sun is out and the grill is hot and life is calling you. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
Tiger, dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. But what if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you could sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9393 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
You know, I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week, I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
You know, I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still have that big problem in Blue Springs. The wreck is 70 westbound just before Little Blue Parkway. It affected eastbound as well, but you're starting to open up on that side. In Kansas, we've got 70 eastbound just past 635. The right lane block from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center and Val 96.5. The Fan traffic.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, welcome back in on the show. I'm serious. This is how I would do it. So, a district court judge ruled that Rice can serve the jail time at any point during the 5-year probationary period. At any point. Earlier today, we had a criminal defense attorney on the show. He's a dear friend of mine. We went to high school together. I've known this man for 20 years. I asked him, hey, how does this work? How can you serve the 30 days?
Ultimately be up to the judge there at the Dallas County court in Texas, but typically judges will allow that to be broken up. They are usually pretty sympathetic to people who hold jobs and whatnot, and so they a lot of times allow that to be served by weekends or a week or so at a time. For somebody with a job like Rashee Rice, he may just go and serve the whole thing in the off season when things are kind of down low. But it's ultimately to the judge to decide.
I'm telling you how I would do it. This is what I would tell him. Judge, you know what I want to do? Every year, sign me up from February 24th, and I'll do a week there. There ain't never nothing happening during that week. In nobody's life. Unless that's your birthday, there's nothing happening the last week of February. We've got past the Super Bowl. We've got past Valentine's Day. That's not really a time that people take vacations during that time in February. That's how I'm breaking this thing up. I got 30 days. All right, for 4 years, I'm going to do a week straight, and then I just got to find where I can throw 2 random days in there. I go do it. Boom, boom. I'm out of here. I'm good. That's how I will play it if I'm Rashee Rice. Rob, you said you would just do weekends? You said first that you would just do the whole month of March. I just don't believe you.
I would do April. I was wrong. April's the month.
So you're telling me you're watching the Masters in jail?
I'm telling you, the Tuesday after the national title, I will see you in May.
You're not watching the Masters in jail.
I'm more keen to watch the Masters in jail than I'm in to watch Kansas basketball. No thanks.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then you can start the time a little bit earlier. You think they're going to the end of March?
Is it this year? Because they got Darren Peterson.
Okay, well, that means around March 17th, you'll be free then, buddy. You'll be free around March 17th.
Also, the question
that's when I would do it.
The question is posed, how would I do it? That's how I would do it. In real life, in the real world, no company, no average Joe's gonna be like, you get 30 days PTO, go to work, get out of here, go take care of it. So you got to figure out a way to massage and manipulate the schedule.
Oh, I'm definitely not taking no vacation time to go to jail. That's nuts.
That's the thing. Rashee Rice has April open. Go bananas, buddy. You got nothing but time in April. I don't have April. They expect me at my 9 to 5 in April. So I got to figure out a way to massage the time, which means maybe like 2 weekends a month. Just boom, there's 4. Now after 1 year, I got 24 weekends.
I can't do that. I hear what you're saying. I cannot imagine doing this job, and then on Friday when you're like, hey Rob, what do you got up for this weekend? I'm like, I gotta go to jail. What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I got those 30 days. I'm gonna go ahead and knock them out. I'm gonna go ahead and, hey, we got a 3-day weekend. It's opening day, so I don't gotta be here on that Monday. I'm gonna knock out. No, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't do it. No, just give me that time in February. I gotta do it.
So you're watching the Super Bowl from jail?
No, I'm saying is I would start every year around February 24th. I get my Valentine's Day, I get my Super Bowl. There's never anything going on during that time frame. We're all just living. That's all we're doing in late February. We're all just living. There's nothing happening. It's still cold outside. It's not warm. It's not any of those things. Someone said he should go whenever the NFL suspends him. He can still practice and be around the team. I'm definitely not doing that during the season. You know what I don't want? I can be here watching film and Andy asks, where's Rashee? And then Matt Nagy says, oh yeah, he's in jail. No, I'm not doing that. No, you need to be at work every day. You need to be practicing like crazy, working on things. I'm not doing it during the NFL suspension. No chance. I'm not doing that.
Also, you and I both know how these contracts work well enough. I'm turning down the mini camp bonus in my contract to be in jail.
Oh yeah, I'm going. Yeah, you got to do that. Come on now. They offer too much money for you not to be there.
I have to go work 3 days a week in shorts and a t-shirt. I watch some film. I run some routes. Then I go home on Friday, or I can be in jail. No, you take the work and the $20,000 show up bonus. nonsensical to do it then.
Someone said I would do that 1 week a year when we get the Arctic blast scheduled to hit us. That's always a good time to do it.
Hold on. Let's just, are we assuming that jail is a well-insulated and warm location?
I'd much rather be there during the cold months than the hot months. I'd much rather be there. Like, if you're telling me there's a choice.
On that concrete slab?
No. I'm saying is if you're telling me right now, if I got to do a week in the county, I got to do a week. I'm not doing it. Like, this is when I'm not doing it when it's 100 degrees outside. You know me. I like it hot. Hot in jail sounds miserable. I'm rather give me the cold. I'll take it. I don't know what their heat situation is. I don't know what the insulation is. I'll take it. I can't do it. I will be very curious to see what happens regarding that side of it. And you know what I'm actually very intrigued by now? That one media availability he's going to have this year. Now, I will say the Chiefs are pretty good about that. You will have the one time in St. Joe, and boy, you better get every question you got out because you will never be able to ask Rashee Rice about this ever again. That one time when they put him out there and he answers the questions, and then that's it. You will never, I'm telling you, he won't talk anymore the rest of the season about this. You get that call from Brad G immediately.
He might not even talk the rest of the season, period.
You might get that call from Brad G immediately.
Oh, that day at the tent, he's gonna be up at the. It's not the usual 4 minutes and walk out. He's gonna stand there for 15 and get peppered with questions.
Someone said, "Is he going to luxury famous people prison or our kind of jail?" I don't know. I mean, maybe like a hybrid of the two. I don't think he's going to the Martha Stewart jail, but I also don't think he's going to prison break either. Like, I think it's somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's jail. I mean, I don't think it's luxurious, at least not the one he's going to. This is honestly not that bad. It sounds crazy to say that for a guy that got 5 years probation and did get a month of jail. This isn't that bad given what you actually did. This is something, hey, you gotta keep your head down. You gotta take your medicine and you gotta move on from this. That's what I would tell him if I'm his lawyer. We got out good here. Because I'm guessing, Rob, if you and I had got into this, let's say that you and I at 23 years old decided to play Fast and Furious on a Texas highway. Something tells me that we don't get to pick when we go to jail. Like, oh, you know what? Why don't you show up whenever? No, that ain't how this works. No, I don't think they're letting you do that.
I also can tell you pretty confidently, me or you, we still might not. Current standings could not afford the lawyer he got. I can tell you that right now.
Couldn't afford him. That lawyer doesn't even pick up the phone for you. What are you talking about? You think you even get that lawyer on the phone? You better ask a family friend who's got a law degree to help you. Yeah, you're right. You only get this kind of, you better have a real good lawyer to get you this. And I also think, I mean, the fact that he's paid $115,000 already, you can't tell me that didn't factor into all of this. Like, they didn't give you a fine, but that's a fine. You paid $115,000. You got 30 days of jail and 5 years probation that the probation can get whittled down if you just do what you're supposed to do. This is not that bad if you're Rashee Rice, all things considered. It could have been way worse for you. So count your blessings, keep your head down, continue to do what you need to do off the field, focus on your rehabilitation and getting back on the field and playing football at a high level. Put this incident behind you and go ball out and put yourself in line to get a second contract and get back some of this money that you had to pay for this mistake. Coming up on the other side, we'll play the best of Gene Taylor, who was on the show earlier as we were celebrating K-State today. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Headed out for a summer getaway? Make your airport parking a breeze with Casey's favorite, Park and Go. All spots are covered so your car stays cool and protected while you're soaking up the sun. Hop on a quick air-conditioned shuttle that picks you up right at your car and drops you off at the terminal. Always the best service, always the best price. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7. Fast, easy, and stress-free. Park and Go, family owned and operated, and proud to be part of your summer travel plans.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff with Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Do you have any good deals going on pickup sale?
We got great deals, Toby. Right now, we've got amazing incentives. Always $50 over invoice only at Lewisburg Ford. But listen to this, 2024 F-150s up to $16,000 off of top MSRP. Plus, you get a 2-year free maintenance plan when you buy from Lewisburg Ford.
Whoa, that's good.
Absolutely. And listen to this, on 2025 F-150s, we've got 0, 0, 0. 0 down payment, 0% interest for 48 months, and 0 payments for 90 days, along with a 2-year free maintenance plan, Toby.
Am I able to get a lease?
Absolutely, Toby. We got a 25 F-150 Super Crew STX, 36-month lease, only $499 a month plus tax with 10,500 miles.
I'm on. Okay, but everything else, you buy at $50 over your cost.
Every single day, $50 over invoice at Lewisburg Ford, and only at Lewisburg Ford, Toby.
It goes on all the time. What's your phone number?
816-444-2300.
LewisburgFord.com.
It's Cody and Gold again telling you about our friends over at Centric. And if you've been thinking about that new career path and how do I go about doing it? Can I get that new career in as little as 4 months? Well, the answer is yes, through Centric.
Take it from a recent graduate who said, I truly appreciate all the guidance and support from the entire career services team. From resume help to interview prep and everything in between, your efforts played a huge role in helping me land my first job in IT.
Talk to our friend Russ for more information about the program and get that new career in as little as 4 months at Centric.com.
Alex.
Hello.
We've been trying to track you down. I don't know if you've noticed that. Do you have any idea why?
Something to do with the radio thing.
Every month we're doing a giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Giveaway? What you giving away, man?
$25,000.
Alex Jackson of Pensacola, Florida is the latest winner of Give Me the Vin's Big Cash Giveaway.
Are you for real?
Every time that you sell a car to Give Me the Vin, you go into a drawing for that month. And dude, you won.
That's great, man. I'm having a baby boy in about 3 months. That's a lot of diapers, man.
Name him John Clay.
Okay.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Only $39 for an AC tune-up. Book now at themvpkc.com. MVP Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric is your home's MVP this summer. Get a summer AC tune-up for just $39 and avoid costly repairs. Call today, 913-214-1212. Or visit themvpkc.com. MVP. One call does it all.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still very heavy. 70 westbound. That wreck was at Little Blue Parkway, and eastbound was affected as well, but you are good to go. Down south, it's 470 westbound at View High. The right lane blocked from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center in Val. 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I want to encourage you guys to check out the podcast page. We had Avery Johnson on the show for the first time. He's the quarterback for Kansas State. We had a chance to catch up with Avery Johnson. We also had Chris Kleiman on the show, and we had Gene Taylor. He is the athletic director. We asked him, with all the changes in college sports, how has his job changed?
Well, you know, the fundraising has always been a big part of AD's job, whether you're fundraising for facilities or just scholarships or operational needs. You know, this is a little different conversation with donors because of the, you know, whether it's a perception or negative perception a donor may have. But I think it's just really explaining to the donors what this is all about, how it came about, how it's still very important, how we need it to help us to be competitive. So it's a really more of a different conversation, from the fundraising perspective. From the other side, it's just putting this plan in place from when it started, probably over a year ago, without a lot of information. As everybody's used this terminology, we're building the plane as we're flying it. So, coaches need answers, athletes need answers, parents do, and yet we didn't have a lot of those answers until the settlement was decided, on June 6th, which was, all of a sudden July 1st it takes effect. So there's still a lot of unanswered questions as we get through the settlement. So it's just really managing through all that. But from a fundraising perspective, it's still really a key part of our job that we've had for a long time.
That's the part that seems the most difficult about your job, like my job, for example. There are words I know I can't say. Like, I know what I'm supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say. There are certain things I can do and what I can't do. It feels like with your job, there have always been very defined rules. These are the rules of the NCAA. I'm not really sure what they are right now. You can transfer wherever. You can make whatever you want. How difficult does that make your job? You mentioned the flying the plane or building the plane while it's still flying feels like the perception is you are operating within a system that doesn't appear to have any rules right now.
Well, we certainly were before the settlement was approved. There's no question about that. There were no rules. And we went, you're exactly right. We went from a very rule-oriented industry to one that didn't have rules for probably 18 months or so. And now that the settlement is here, those are now our new rules. It's under the College Sports Commission, and we all have to live within the 20.5, but there's still a lot of questions about that and how, not so much about the number, but besides that 20.5, what else can an athlete receive and how can they receive it? And right now, that's really kind of the biggest question. We think we know based on what the settlement is, that it has to be true NIL, it has to come from a true business perspective, has to have a certain range of compensation, but that's already being challenged in the courts. So, we hope that we have these guardrails that we've asked for a long time to get back into some more specific rules that still allow the athletes to earn an opportunity to share in the revenue, but all within the equal playing field. And we're hoping to get there sooner rather than later, but it's not quite there yet.
This was a theme that came up multiple times during Big 12 Media Day was the term salary cap. Deion Sanders used this. Mike Gundy used it. Lance Leipold alluded to it as well. What do you make of a salary cap? What do you think of the idea of having a salary cap in this conversation?
Well, it's, again, that's where the uncomfortableness comes from, from donors and from folks that, wait a minute, we're paying our athletes. They're an employee now. They're a salary. Well, no, it's not really a salary cap. It's a revenue share cap number. And then that we as institutions decide how much of that revenue is going to go to which sports, and then within that sport, how that revenue is distributed. So I know it's an easy term to use because that's what the NFL uses, the NBA, the pro leagues. But it's really not a salary cap because they're not employees. It's a revenue share cap. It's based on a formula that came out of the lawsuit of 22% of the average gross revenue of the Power 5 institutions. They started at 50%, the plaintiff's attorneys did, and then they backed off from there with, you already give them scholarships, you already give them this, you already give them that. So that's how they came up with the 22%. So really it's a revenue share cap to be distributed amongst your athletes however you want to. So I don't use the term salary cap, but it's an easy term to fall back into just based on that's what people are used to.
Right now, we're talking to Gene Taylor. He is the athletic director at Kansas State University. We're celebrating the Wildcats today. I know that the conference didn't do a preseason poll, but if they did, you guys would have been near the top of it for your football team. How exciting is it to have a team that people think can win the Big 12 and ultimately can make the college football playoff and compete for a national championship?
Well, I think I'm kind of like Coach Kleiman on this one. I prefer to be coming from the back end and, being surprising everybody. But, yeah, and it's obviously, Coach works really hard. This team's worked really hard. They've got a lot of good players. And, obviously people feel that we have a good chance to compete. This conference is difficult, though. I mean, Iowa State's good. Texas Tech's going to be good. there's a lot of programs out there that, BYU was Arizona State obviously wasn't one that was picked last year. And so, we all know how difficult this conference is to, get through, from start to finish. And, we're going to start off with a tough one, obviously, on the road in Ireland. So it's great to be there and to be considered as a good football team. But I think at the end of the day, we just rather go out and come from the back end and just surprise everybody. But I don't know that we're going to be able to do that because I do think we have pretty talented football players.
A couple of things here, and I'll get you out of here. The first thing is I got a chance to go to a basketball game. I went to this, I think it was the second to last home game this past year. A friend gave me courtside seats, and let me tell you, I had the most phenomenal day in Manhattan, Kansas. This is my guess. I'm guessing once you get an athlete to actually take an official or unofficial there, and they get to experience Manhattan for themselves, I'm guessing you guys got a really high success rate of getting that athlete to come. I don't know how you couldn't be 17, 18 years old, go to Manhattan and be like, man, this is a really nice place.
Well, our coaches talk about it, not just in football and basketball, but literally all of our sports. The trick is to get them here. Once we get them here, we have a really good shot at getting them because when you look at our facilities across the board, you look at our community, it's a great community. It's different. I think a lot of people's perception is you're in the middle of Kansas and it's not looking like what Manhattan looks like or feels like. So, yeah, we get athletes here and their families here and the atmosphere. We have a really good chance of having them come on board with this. But it's a great place. We've got great facilities athletic-wise. We've got an athletic complex that's really unique and together where a lot of places are spread out. So we got a pretty good thing going, that's for sure.
Last thing here, we don't got to get super deep into it. There certainly will be time for it. I don't have to tell you how important this upcoming basketball program is for your university, how important it is for your head coach. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts as you guys head into a very critical basketball season?
Well, just the basketball world is so unique, and I think Coach Klieman, Coach Stang, being a new coach a couple of years ago, his world has changed dramatically as a new head coach, and I think he's learned a lot. I think he's adjusted really well in the new environment of the massive transfers and then how to build a team from massive transfers. I give a lot of credit for a tremendous amount of self-evaluation, not only with him and his staff, but how to go about it. I think he feels they're in a good spot right now. I think he feels the kind of players he's got coming in are going to be good cultured players. So, we'll see. We got to get in and play the game. And, again, very much like football, it's a very difficult conference. But I think we're a much better place currently building the team. And I think he feels better about it now than he probably did over a year ago. So I think he's really made some really nice adjustments.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck?